Manitoba. It is Wednesday, September 3rd. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. And many kids are going back to school today. It is officially upon us. And Ainsley McPhail is going to be spending the morning at a school in the Winnipeg School Division, telling us about what's on tap for kids this year, as well as seeing those shining faces as they head into the classroom this morning. We're going to have that for you throughout the morning, but first, your headlines. Wait times on the rise. We break down the numbers as patients seeking care are sitting longer in ER waiting rooms. Budgeting for the bug battle, why an upgrade for Winnipeg's insect control facility has been recommended. And in Tokyo for the toys, a new market sector targets adults looking for a nostalgic connection to childhood. All right, let's bring it to Terry now. Kids are back to school today. It certainly felt like it yesterday, or outside this morning. The fall, it feels like fall out there.
Yeah, it certainly does. It's cool, it's cloudy, it's windy, and then we might see some rain on top of it all. So yeah, there's definitely a chill out there this morning. Grab those extra layers. 8 degrees is where we're sitting right now. That's a normal low for this time of year. So maybe it's just time that we wrap our heads around what is in fact normal. Winds, they're out of the north-northwest, 20 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 89%. Still dark out there with the sun not rising till about 6:45, maybe just less than that. In fact, I think it's like 6:44 or 43 is, no, sorry, on the other side. Anyway, close to 6:45 is when we'll finally see the sun, and then still the heavier clouds. We're not going to be seeing much sunshine, maybe later today. This morning, you're probably going to notice some wet lawns out there, maybe some puddles on the streets. There was a bit of overnight precipitation, and we still may see a little more of that throughout the morning hours, and then clearing somewhat later on into the afternoon. A little more sunshine, not a lot more heat. These temperatures today will remain below seasonal. Another round of rain, this one right from the northern border to the southern border, passing through Thursday, and will likely be clipped with that as it pushes onto the eastern side of the province as well. Winds might not be as strong tomorrow, but the temperatures could be even cooler yet. 13 for today, 10 for tomorrow, 21 normal for this time of year. We've got cool temperatures expected through the rest of the week, starting to warm up this weekend with a little more sunshine, and then finally back to those seasonal temperatures on the other side of the weekend.
Thanks, Terry. Fixing healthcare was one of Premier Wab Kinew's hallmark promises during the election campaign, but almost halfway through his mandate, it appears hospital wait times in Winnipeg are not trending in the right direction. New numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority show they're at times higher now than when the NDP took office. CTV's Jeff Keel reports.
Rebecca James and Pavel White are sleep deprived.
I'm pretty tired. I haven't slept. We haven't slept.
That's because they say they just spent 20 hours waiting in the St. Boniface Emergency Department as James was battling a blood infection.
Oh my God, exhausting and staying on a chair. I really hated it. And yeah, they're just really awful.
They're not the only ones waiting. The latest numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority show the median wait time in Winnipeg in December 2023 was 4 hours, an annual high. In February, a peak for the year so far of 3.97 hours. The times dipped down, only to go back up to 3.65 hours in July. All of these numbers are higher than August 2023, which was 3.23 hours 2 months before the NDP took office.
What we're hearing from both our nurses and from the public, wait times are increasing in our ERs and urgent care. So, yeah, we're definitely not going in the right direction.
Premier Wab Kinew and the NDP government promised to fix health care during the election campaign 2 years ago. Manitoba's health minister says since taking office, they've added more hospital beds, 900 net new nurses, 200 doctors and hundreds of other healthcare workers, as well as primary and minor injury clinics. Plus, they say more initiatives and hires are on the way.
But what we need is a long-term sustainable trend in the right direction, a meaningful change. That does take time, but we're going to continue doing the work so Manitobans see that happen.
The minister says other provinces are facing similar challenges, calling this a complex problem that will take time to mend.
The reality is we're dealing with the consequences of years of massive closures and cuts to emergency rooms.
I think that the time for playing the blame game and blaming the previous government has to stop.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The numbers from the WRHA also showed the median wait times for all hospitals in Winnipeg went up from 3.42 hours in July 2024 compared to 3.65 hours in July 2025. Meanwhile, the minister says they are working on improving health links to make sure patients are going to the right place so the ER is not clogged up. Plus, more doctors and emergency rooms are coming. And a reminder, in this year's budget, there was the pledge to reopen the emergency room at Victoria Hospital. Visits to Winnipeg libraries are up this year and the number of incidents are down. That's according to a new report at City Hall, which shows total visits at Winnipeg's 20 public libraries is up nearly 11% in the second quarter compared to the same time last year. One of the exceptions was Millennium Library, which saw 6% fewer people. The report says that could be because the library adjusted its hours in the fall and buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue. The total number of incidents, which range from inappropriate behavior, medical incidents to assaults, are also down slightly across the system and at Millennium specifically. And speaking of the Millennium Library, temporary fencing has gone up along the railing on the 4th floor overlooking the atrium. The roughly 6-foot-tall wire fence was put up over the weekend. The city previously said the fencing would be installed on the 3rd and 4th floor and will stay there until a permanent solution is in place. It comes after a pair of incidents in recent weeks, including one where a man died. A report on reducing mosquitoes in Winnipeg recommends a multi-million-dollar upgrade to the insect control facility. Right now, the city relies on fogging with a chemical called Delta Guard, but that chemical is no longer available, and the city will eventually use up what it has in stock. So it's looking for other ways to fight mosquitoes. The Standing Policy Committee on Community Services says one way is to increase larviciding in standing water. But ramping up that service requires extra staff and equipment, which the report says the current insect control facility on Gray Street can't handle. It's already relying on portable washrooms, off-site parking, and uses mobile trailers as change rooms. The report recommends a $13.5 million upgrade to the facility. The plan still needs to be approved by City Council. Donald Trump is back in the public eye Tuesday, making a flurry of security-related announcements, starting with a lethal strike on an alleged drug boat tied to a Venezuelan cartel.
We just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat.
Trump released this footage of the vessel being destroyed in the southern Caribbean and said 11 people were killed. The White House recently announced plans to boost its presence near Venezuela and put a bounty on its president. Travel Manitoba has launched a new campaign to help bring tourists back to areas of the province ravaged by wildfires this summer. The campaign's theme is Travel with Your Heart in the Right Place and highlights Whiteshell Provincial Park, northern Manitoba, and communities and businesses which are open and ready to welcome visitors this fall. There's also a new website with road trip itineraries, travel deals, and planning resources. The campaign runs now until November, targeting Manitobans, Canadians, and international travelers. New research suggests beta blockers may not benefit the vast majority of patients and may even raise the risk of death for some women. Beta blockers have been used for decades as a first-line treatment after a heart attack. One analysis focused only on women and found those with little heart damage after their heart attack were significantly more likely to have another heart attack if they were treated with beta blockers. They were also more likely to die than women who were not treated with the drug. Another study found no benefit in using beta blockers for any patient, male or female, whose hearts were still performing well after their heart attack. But a separate study did find benefits for those whose hearts may be mildly damaged. The Tokyo Toy Show isn't just for kids. Japan's toy market has seen 5 straight years of growth, much of it fueled by demand from adults. Industry insiders have a term for these customers: kidults. This means toys that are collectible and nostalgic. If it doesn't sound like much fun, don't worry. There are plenty of other toys at the show for kids so they can start making memories of their own. And here's a look now what's going on Portage Avenue. Looks like things are still quite light to start off this morning. Things are going to change though. The kids are back at school this morning, and so things are going to pick up real soon. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live at Sargent Park School this morning. It's really quiet there now, but not for long, Ainsley.
Wake up, kids. You got to go to school.
It's probably shocking.
This is not what you want to hear, telling you to do that. Exactly. This school in particular starts at nursery age kids going up to 8, last year to 9. We want to show you this mosaic because over 700 kids put together over 2,000 tiles. And it's all part of the 94 calls to action, but really inspired by the identity of the school itself. So we're going to be learning about that, the collaboration, and more coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. We're heading to the library. We might have some book recommendations for you and learn exactly why it's designed in that way. We're going to go outside. We're going to talk to some grade 1 and 2 teachers, and we might even go into the band room, Rochelle, and play some music.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Well, a lot of kids, I'm sure, are getting ready real soon. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now, and when they're heading out this morning, they might want to put on a light jacket.
Or 3.
Oh, really?
It's cold out here this morning. Yeah, our temperature dropped off, so I was, talking at the start of the show that it was 8 degrees. Well, that was the reading that was given to us at 5 a.m. It updates at 6. I never have it right at 6 when we get it because I'm on TV. So I go back to my desk and I check again, and it's dropped down to 5, and I'm thinking, I don't even think I have the proper outerwear. And sure enough, I grabbed the warmest jacket that I've got on my desk right now. A little CTV branded jacket is not warm enough. No, I would like an extra layer on underneath this. 5 degrees and a bit of a breeze, a 10K wind out of the north-northwest. The pressure falling, humidity sitting at 95%. It also has to do with the fact that it's still dark, 6:46. I did double check that. That's when the sun will officially be rising. But there's a dampness to the air. It's dark, it's damp, it's cool, it's windy. Whew. It will improve, at least once the sun is up. It'll look a little bit brighter. And as far as the precipitation goes, that dampness, no. We do have the possibility still of some showers, especially through the morning hours. I think there should be some clearing later on into the day, though. A little bit of sunshine on the back end of the day, but the morning perhaps could be on the cloudier side, although there will be some brighter spots. I can see where the clouds are right now and enough breaks in them that a bit of sun will shine through. Hopefully that bit of sun will be enough to warm us up a bit today, but it will be below seasonal, not just today, throughout the week. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Good morning. It is 6:15. The victim of the city's latest homicide is from a First Nation community in the Interlake. Police say 25-year-old Melvin Catchaway of Lake St. Martin First Nation was found seriously injured and unconscious in the 600 block of Langside Street shortly after midnight Friday. That's in the city's Spence neighborhood. He was brought to a hospital but later died. His death is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information or video surveillance is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Firefighters returned to the scene of a possible arson Tuesday. Fire broke out at the Exchange Event Center on Bannatyne Avenue early Tuesday afternoon. Crews used drones as part of the attack and had the fire out in about an hour. This is the second fire at this building. There was another one there Friday, which police say was a possible arson. No one was hurt, and there are no damage estimates. In a first for the Winnipeg Police Service, the force has appointed an external Indigenous relations advisor.
I know that we have strained relationships between Winnipeg Police and Indigenous people in our city and even in our province. We have a lot of work to do.
Sheila North brings a lengthy resume to the position. She's a former journalist and author and was MKO's first female Grand Chief. She's also served in Indigenous relations roles with the International Commission on Missing Persons and the University of Winnipeg. In her new role, she'll be an advisor to police brass focused on improving relations with the Indigenous community.
Someone had mentioned we have the largest Indigenous population, urban Indigenous population in the nation. I think it's extremely important that those individuals are protected, felt heard, and have a say in how that policing is conducted within this community. I wanted to.
Police Chief Gene Bowers says one of North's first assignments will be helping in the creation of an Indigenous Advisory Action Circle. As millions of students headed back to class on Tuesday, Alberta's government appeared to back down after backlash from critics who accused the province of trying to ban books in school libraries by October. CTV's Tyson Fedor explains.
It was the first day back in class for Calgary students, a new school year mired in controversy.
We were hoping that the school boards would be able to identify those on their own and work with us to try to make sure that pornographic images are not being shown to young children. Clearly, we have to be a bit more directive on that.
The province's ban of books with sexual content in school libraries was paused. It was to come into effect October 1st, but schools and teachers were already busy removing books and covering up their libraries to comply with the government order. Critics say this pause is proof of wasted time and resources.
Premier, you asked if the school boards needed you to hold their hand and teach them how to do their job. Anytime, Premier, Albertans are happy to hold your hand and teach you how to be the Premier.
Author Margaret Atwood slammed the province once The Handmaid's Tale appeared on Edmonton Public Schools' banned list. Now the province's education ministry says classic literary works will remain, while books with what it considers graphic pornographic images will not.
We're pretty responsible with what our children consume inside and outside the school.
I'm definitely in favor of teaching our kids about the world as it is right now.
This comes as teachers and the government are at odds over a new contract.
Class size and complexity of our students are not being met. We are the least funded school jurisdiction in terms of spending that boards have on students in all of Canada and have been for years.
Last week, talks broke down, leaving some parents on edge.
I hope they can resolve things. We were watching for it over the weekend, and it doesn't sound like anything was really improving, so I honestly didn't think we're coming back to school today.
We're trying to balance the schedule.
Teachers have until October 7th to strike with 72 hours notice. The province says a lockout would only be used as a reactionary response that also requires 3 days notice.
Honestly, it's always in the back of our mind, but we proceed as if it is a normal first day of school. We just keep going forward until we're told otherwise.
One city councillor wants the city to open the doors to recreation centres and swimming pools if teachers are off the job.
Allowing the kids to recreate there as opposed to being wandering aimlessly on the street or home alone.
As for students, they hope the uncertainty does not interfere with the excitement of back to school.
I want to meet the new kids and see if they're friendly.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Calgary.
This could be your big break. Casting is now open for a Made in Manitoba curling TV series. It's called Cool Sweepings, a comedy drama about 4 Black Canadian friends who enter a curling tournament in hopes of paying off their debt with the prize money. For the main cast, producers are looking for 4 Black Canadians between 18 and 22 years old. The supporting cast includes a variety of ages and ethnic backgrounds. Filming is set to begin this fall right here in Manitoba. You can find out more details by checking out Black Film Space Manitoba on social media. The series is in conjunction with Bell 5 TV. Bell is the parent company of CTV News. Ever wonder what happens to all the leftover food from Toronto's Summer Fair, the Canadian National Exhibition? Well, vendors this year are once again donating unused produce, canned goods, and other leftovers to the Second Harvest Food Bank. This is the second year of the program. Almost 30 vendors took part last year. This time around, there are even more taking part, rescuing about 11,000 kilos of food. And here's a look at what's happening now in traffic at Confusion Corner. Looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see problems out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
And yeah, still pretty dark with the sun not rising till 6:46. We're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Not only is it dark, it's cool out there this morning, a little bit damp as well. Some wet streets after some showers rolled through last night. I'll show you the satellite image in a second, but first, let's take a look at these numbers. Oof, cold just looking at them. Actually colder if you step outside though. 5 degrees is where we're sitting. That is below seasonal. Many of us are below normal right now, with 8 degrees being that seasonal low temperature. And the only place doing a little better than that is the Morden Winkler area coming in at 9. But colder yet over in Roblin, 2 degrees for you to kick off the morning. Still, that's better than Thompson, who's sitting at the freezing mark. And areas around it only a few to 5 degrees better than that. Churchill actually winning the game across northern Manitoba with a balmier 6 degrees. I'm joking. There's nothing balmy about 6 degrees. Some clearer conditions in areas through the province. We have the heavier clouds, the rain pass over us in the overnight hours, but there is still the possibility that we get more of that today. Here's a look at how things will warm up, and I use that term loosely because it's not going to be a warm day by any means, below seasonal in fact. Noontime temperatures still in the high single digits across northern Manitoba. Will probably have pushed just barely into the double digits, but not rising much beyond that. 13 degrees is our expected high. You can compare that to a seasonal high of 21. We're missing the mark big time, and will continue to do so throughout the rest of the week, with heavier clouds tomorrow and some showers expected, or some steadier rain in fact, and then finally starting to see a little more sunshine as we're looking ahead to the weekend, but it'll take until the other side of the weekend when we're getting those seasonal temps back again. And this is little Ringo with the gorgeous weather over the weekend. Went out for a canoe ride on Badger River. Thanks to Michael for the photo, and keep them coming please to Winnipeg weather at CTV.ca. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning. Kids headed back to school. Alarm bells were ringing from the advocacy group Children First Canada. A new report warning poverty, mental illness, and bullying are on the rise in Canadian youth. CTV's Alison Bamford takes a look at the generation at risk.
A picture-perfect start to the first day of school. Pre-class jitters masked by all levels of excitement.
It's gonna be fun this year, I hope.
I mean, it is school, so you can't be too excited.
As kids across the country return to class, a new report from Children First Canada is highlighting the top threats facing students.
We're seeing epidemic levels of child poverty, child abuse, bullying, mental health concerns.
1.4 million kids lived in poverty in Canada last year, the most since 2017. Inside the classroom and online, it's the rise in bullying and racism that's raising concerns. 71% of kids between the ages of 12 and 17 say they were bullied in the past year, according to the report, and a quarter of youth were cyberbullied.
What that looks like sometimes is the name calling. It looks like target rumors. It looks at also excluded from activities.
Issues at school that psychiatrists say can impact a child's well-being.
It provides so many positives in their education and a stabilizing force when we talk about really healthy things like routines and schedules. But schools also, one of the primary sources of stress for kids.
Social media and AI can escalate mental health problems for students, while the advocacy group is calling for a national strategy to address these concerns. Experts suggest parents talk to their kids about the challenges they face so that students can also be a part of the solution. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Google can keep its Chrome browser, but it has been ordered to share its secrets with competitors. The decision comes after a years-long court battle over Google's dominance in online search. The U.S. Department of Justice had demanded that Google sell Chrome, but Tuesday's ruling means the tech giant doesn't have to. However, it will be barred from having exclusive contracts and must share search data with rivals. Google says it views the ruling as a victory and that the rise of artificial intelligence likely contributed to the outcome. Kids are going back to school today with the Winnipeg School Division. Ainsley McPhail is live at this school this morning. We're going to get ready as kids return to the classroom. Stay with us.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
There, we're getting closer to seeing that sunshine. It's looking a little bit brighter at least, but 6:46 is when it will officially start to rise. It's 5 degrees right now in Winnipeg with winds out of the north-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 95%. It's cool, cloudy, well, partly cloudy anyway, and a little bit damp after some showers rolled through earlier this morning, but there is still the possibility that we see a few more showers, at least through the morning hours. Clearer conditions across parts of northern Manitoba, and eventually we'll see some clearing here in the south as well. But it will be a cool day, and even with the clearing and the sunshine making an appearance, we'll probably top out at about 13 degrees, and that keeps us well below seasonal. Normal daytime highs 21, so not even close today. Not only will it be cool, a little bit cloudy, it's going to get breezy as well. Those winds out of the north at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. They should be easing in the overnight hours as we drop down to, again, 5 degrees, so similar to where we're sitting right now. Another cool night ahead, and brace yourself then for an even colder day tomorrow and an even soggier day. While there were some light showers this morning, and we may still see some more, steadier rain is expected for tomorrow and a high of just 10 degrees. From there, we'll start to dry up, at least a little more sunshine coming out toward the end of the week and into the weekend, but it will take some time for these temperatures to rise. Cool for the rest of this week, starting to warm up this weekend, and then finally back into those seasonal low 20s as we're looking ahead to next week.
Thank you, Terry. A 77-year-old man is dead, and a teenage boy is charged with dangerous driving following a crash in southwestern Manitoba. It happened Saturday at the intersection of Highway 23 and Highway 5 in the RM of Argyle. RCMP say a pickup truck driven by a 17-year-old was heading south of Highway 5 when it collided with an SUV heading west on 23. The crash sent the SUV rolling into the ditch. The driver of the SUV, a man from Killarney, died from his injuries. The teen wasn't injured, and police arrested and charged him with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle causing death. When adjusted for inflation, our province is spending less per student in public schools than it was 10 years ago. That's according to a new report from the Fraser Institute. It found during the 2022-23 school year, Manitoba spent a little more than $17,000 per student, or roughly $500 less than in 2013. Still, our province had the fourth highest spending in the country. Manitoba was also the only province with publicly available data where spending on teacher pensions fell. Relief for consumers at the grocery store and other small businesses may be on the way. Ottawa has dropped a number of tariffs on U.S. products covered by the CUSMA Free Trade Agreement. With more on what it means for consumers, here's CTV's Joseph Bernacki.
That's at least $5 more than it used to be, as far as I can see.
At the Silver Heights Food Fair, Tom Roloff looks for the best deal on ground coffee. It's an expense he's noted keeps on going up.
Coffee, especially, so I have to look around for better prices. I don't know that anything's gone down.
But prices on the shelf could soon lower after the federal government's decision to drop existing 25% tariffs on U.S. goods covered under the CUSMA Free Trade Agreement. Food expert Sylvain Charlebois says a difference of 25% at the border will make a huge difference for many everyday grocery items.
That list would include coffee, tea, nuts, spices, dried pasta, sauces, pickles, anything in a jar coming from the U.S.
While he's optimistic prices will lower, Food Fair owner Munther Zeed says it will take some time to see costs come down until existing stock sells.
It's going to really depend on the wholesaler that brought it in. Are they going to eat the tax that they paid, ask for a refund? We'll see. It depends on how fast they get rid of that stock and new stock start coming in.
And he's not the only business owner hoping relief is on the way for customers. Best Sleep Center's David Keem has watched American-made furniture prices skyrocket.
If the chair cost $100, it cost $125. If it cost $200, it cost $250. And having it go the other way will be a significant decrease in my costs.
Repair crews are working on an historic building in Winnipeg's Exchange District. The Peck Building at 33 Princess Street was built in 1893. On Tuesday, construction fencing has cordoned off the pedestrian sidewalk around the building. The city says it received a complaint parts of the building's moldings were hanging loose. The city ordered the building owner to remediate the issue. The fencing is in place as a precaution to pedestrians. No word on when the work will be complete. I guess you can call this a whiskey sour. Ontario Premier Doug Ford dumping out a bottle of Crown Royal in response to its plant closing in the province.
So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
Spirits maker Diageo announced last week it would cease operations at its bottling facility in Hammersburg in February of 2026. The company says they are moving some of the bottling to the U.S. This bottling facility in Amherstburg is the largest employer in the town. The closure will affect about 200 jobs. The company says the move is aimed at improving efficiency. Premier Ford says he asked the company if there were any incentives Ontario could provide, but company officials said no. Diageo will still operate its headquarters and warehouse operations in the Greater Toronto Area and bottling and distillation facilities in Manitoba and Quebec. We're a long way from ancient Greece. The first international humanoid Olympiad was held over the weekend. Events include boxing, dancing, and dishwashing. Advances in robotics have come slower than in other fields like AI, but experts say the field is on the brink of a breakthrough. This event aims to show off what robots are capable of. Organizers are hoping to make this an annual competition. Here's a look now what's going on in traffic on McPhillip Street. Things are picking up over here, as you can see, as people finally head back to the classroom. And let's take a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average stands at $1.39, while the provincial average is also $1.39. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.40. The lowest price in the city is $1.27. All this info is on gasbuddy.com.
Price at the pump brought to you by kidneycard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Sargent Park School this morning. The kids are going to be heading there real soon, probably in about an hour, 2 hours or so. Good morning, Ainsley.
I was going like this. I was going to say, wake up, kids. That's me knocking on the door. Don't be late. Listen, this is your alarm clock. This is Ainsley from CTV Morning Live telling you to wake up. This is awesome. Back to school. What an exciting time. You kind of get that buzz and that feeling in the air. Ara joins us now. Ara Moore is the principal here. Let's talk about that excitement.
Oh, there's so much excitement in the air. The teachers have been in already for a couple weeks, some even longer, getting ready in their classrooms. And in the office, we've been around for a couple weeks as well. It's so fun at the beginning of the year. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this beautiful mosaic, it's impossible not to look. Tell us about it.
We're very proud of this mosaic. 740 students last year worked with a local artist to create something very meaningful to our school and to be creative at the same time. So right in the middle of the mosaic, one of our goals in our school is to really think about truth and reconciliation and how we can make sure that we are making a difference in our community, in the world, and really thinking about the 94 calls to action. And so all of our students were learning about the 94 calls to action, and with the artists came up with some meaningful symbols to talk about what we believe in as a school and what we can do to help. And so the 94 calls to action, as you see in the middle, our school is also very much a sports school, so it's a jersey, and the color orange was picked on purpose. And then you can see the hands in there talking or symbolizing that we all want to work together and be in this together. Our flame here, because we are a Sargent Park flame, we wanted to make sure, and when I say we, this all came from the kids. So they designed it, and then the artists put it together. You can see the eagle feathers, and inside each one it says sage, tobacco, sweetgrass, and cedar, all very meaningful. We have the symbol here for the truth and reconciliation, and you can see it says TRC, and we have the Métis symbol and the turtle. So all of these together represent the learning.
Beautiful. Beautiful. What a great way to welcome the kids back.
It's their work that they finally get to see in its glory. Thank you so much, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. When kids head out this morning, they're going to need some layers, Terry.
Yeah, put a sweater on at least. Even if they're ditching it later on today, I don't think today is going to be that day. We will eventually encounter, probably on the other side of the weekend, next week, those mornings where it's a little bit cool but still warms up nicely in the afternoon. It's not going to be today. We're not going to be seeing those temperatures skyrocketing or even getting close to seasonal. We're even a little below seasonal starting out right now, 5 degrees at the moment, a little bit of a breeze. It's a 10K wind out of the north-northwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 95%. Sun is up now. I think it's up now, right? 6. I didn't wear my watch today. Anyway, 6:46 was official sunrise, so I do believe that we're now past that time. And it is looking a little bit brighter. I can see some pockets of blue sky through some clouds, but the possibility still of seeing some clouds or maybe some scattered showers, especially through the morning hours. There were some showers last night, so you're going to be waking up to wet streets, but things will be clearing throughout the day today. Northern Manitoba, you're clear already. It's going to be looking gorgeous for you. Still a little bit cool, just some low teens expected, and low teens expected here in the south as well, with that chance of showers this morning, but perhaps a little more sunshine later today.
CTV Morning Live Weather is brought to you by Destination Dinner Stage, Manitoba's only musical dinner theater.
Looking at the early markets, futures are pointing to a lower open on Wall Street. Dow futures are down 249 points. NASDAQ futures are lower too, also off by 249. S&P futures are also in the red, down 44. The Canadian dollar is seeing a slight dip this morning. Overseas, the Hang Seng is down 153 points, while Japan's Nikkei is down 371. Good morning, it is 6:46. A 15-year-old boy is dead after the dirt bike he was driving hit a train. It happened early Tuesday afternoon at the railway crossing on Pleasant Road, just south of Highway 15 in the RM of Springfield. RCMP say the teen was riding a dirt bike south on Pleasant Road when it hit a train at the crossing. The boy, who is from Steinbach, was pronounced dead at the scene. RCMP continue to investigate. A community organization in Elmwood woke up Tuesday morning to find its trailer and custom-built shed gone, and with it a huge cache of donated items that were supposed to go to residents. Now, as CTV's Harrison Shin shows you, the organization is wondering what it will do next.
A broken chain. This was the welcome back from the long weekend that greeted the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Organization.
We had a wonderful shed on a trailer that was built by community hands and community partners, and it's gone. Somebody stole it last night over the long weekend.
Villarba says the trailer was at the corner of this lot, and there's a reason for that.
It had a little stage on it so that we could create those opportunities for people to come and gather and perform and do things.
They haven't just lost a performance space. The shed on top of the trailer was filled with donations destined for improving the neighborhood.
Some planters and some other benches and some seating and some equipment to maintain the grounds.
Villarba added the shed was a symbol of a friendship with their late city councilor Jason Schreier.
243 came to life because of our late city councilor Jason Schreier. We were going to build a commemorative space for him here, and that shed was part of the plan. But now it's gone.
Winnipeg Police tells CTV News the theft will be investigated as a commercial break and enter. Villarba is hoping the trailer and the shed come back.
Having a shed taken from a property that is meant for the community is really kind of disheartening.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
It's a frustrating reality, waiting on hold with the Canada Revenue Agency for what seems like forever, only to be disconnected.
I have not been able to get anybody, and I'm not interested in waiting another 59 minutes, 59 seconds, and then be cut off.
And she's not the only one. It's become such a problem that the Minister of Finance is now giving the CRA 100 days to do something about it. Minister François-Philippe Champagne says it's increasingly apparent that the CRA is not meeting the reliable and timely service that Canadians expect and deserve. The union representing CRA employees says wait times have, quote, exploded to as long as 3.5 hours at the CRA call center, with fewer than 5% of callers actually reaching an agent. In 2024, the CRA had more than 59,000 employees. Since then, 7,000 people have been laid off. Businesses in Conception Bay South in Newfoundland and Labrador will have to stay closed today because the town is in danger of running out of water.
We got a call from the St. John's Regional Water Authority to tell us that there was no water flowing into the lines in Conception Bay South.
In an update late last night, officials say the source of a pipe leak has been found and crews are rushing to finish repairs. In the meantime, the town will stay under a state of emergency. Water is being saved to fight fires only. Businesses, except pharmacies and gas stations, will stay closed, and people are being told not to use any water unless it's an emergency. It's not certain if these emergency measures will keep the town from running out of water. Officials are expected to give another update this morning. This morning, China held a military parade meant to show its military might to the world. President Xi Jinping presided over the parade, marking 80 years since Japan's surrender in the Second World War. Some of the weapons put on display include air defense lasers, stealth fighter jets, and underwater drones. There were even robot wolves said to be used for minesweeping or hunting down enemy soldiers. Another notable presence at the parade was the number of authoritarian leaders showing their support for China. At the parade, President Xi, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, and Russian President Vladimir Putin appeared together for the first time ever. Experts see the three leaders standing together as a clear message of a new world order meant to challenge the U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump wasn't invited, but he accused Putin and Kim of conspiring against the U.S. A lot of Muggles have gone back to school, but what about students at Hogwarts? The official Harry Potter account shared this recap video of Back to Hogwarts. All around the world, people gathered to count down the Hogwarts Express, departing from platform 9 3/4. All right, here's a look now. What's going on Kenaston Boulevard? It looks like things are quite smooth over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you have any problems out on the streets, let us know, please.
It's cool, 5 degrees out there this morning, so grab the extra layer before you head out. First day back at school for a lot of folks today, and yeah, it's an exciting time, but you don't want to get so excited that you leave without your layers. North-northwest winds, they're 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 95%. You want to be warm enough that at least you're going to have fun at recess time, getting outside and playing, or if you're just waiting for the bus, both on the way there and on the way home again, because it's not going to be warming up much through the day today. We've got some cool temperatures expected right throughout. There was some shower activity overnight there. You can see it moving into parts of northwestern Ontario. Still the possibility across southern Manitoba, but for northern Manitoba, it's going to be a little bit clearer, a little bit brighter. Not a whole lot warmer, though, just barely into the double digits as we look across northern Manitoba. 12, 11 degrees, maybe a degree or 3 warmer over here in the northwest. And again, a lot more sunshine expected across northern Manitoba. Here in the south, we've got some extra clouds. There were those showers from earlier on, and we may still see some brief showers passing through this morning, but then some clearing is expected into the afternoon. It's not going to cause the temperatures to skyrocket by any means, though. 13 is the average that we're expecting all across southern Manitoba, and 21 would be a normal daytime high. So below seasonal temperatures today, bit of a breeze as well, and then hopefully that clearing into the afternoon, whereas northwestern Ontario, you're still looking at some soggier conditions throughout the day today. We could be looking at soggy conditions for tomorrow. Speaking of, some heavier, steadier rain is expected and even cooler temperatures, eventually starting to see a few more breaks and some sunshine into the weekend, with those seasonal temperatures waiting for us as we look ahead to next week. It's back. The HSC Millionaire Lottery tickets on sale today. This is always such a fun campaign. I am with the one and only Milt Stiegel. Milt, we have a blast shooting this,
yes,
but there's more to it than that. It's not just the fun that we have with this. What is your why for wanting to be a part of this campaign?
Well, the community of Winnipeg, the province of Manitoba, has done so much for me and my family, as I say every year. So this is my small way of giving back. The Health Sciences Center, they do so much for so many throughout Manitoba, but for them to do what they do, they need money. So this is my small way of giving back to the Health Sciences Center, to the community of Winnipeg and the community of Manitoba.
Yeah, and speaking of money, there's millions up for grabs. There's some incredible prizes as well. Check out their website and you're going to see a whole list of them, hscmillionaire.com. Just run through some of those great prizes that folks can win.
Oh man, there's cars, there's vacations, there's gas, there's homes, there's $1.25 million cash, tax-free, some special gifts in there if you go to hscmillionaire.com. CTVWinner.com. You'll see all those special gifts.
Yeah, and it's not just one person that wins. I mean, these prizes are spread out. I think there's up to 30 people that are winning gas and groceries for a year. That'll go a long way with today's prices for sure. But, Milt, there's something special going on this year because, of course, Winnipeg is hosting Grey Cup. Let's talk about the winners that are going to be headed there.
Yes. There's 3 pair of tickets that can be won to this year's Grey Cup that will be hosted by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I don't know if the Blue Bombers will be in it, but that would be awesome. But there's 3 pair of tickets that can also be won in this lottery. So that's a special present right there for someone who can go out there and win them.
Yeah, and it's just a matter of going online, grabbing your tickets there. And, of course, as we mentioned, HSC, where that money goes, helping to research, helping to make sure that those wait times are cut a little bit shorter, all the reasons that we want to be giving back. And you could be winner as well, just by getting your ticket at hscmillionaire.com.
For women living with ovarian cancer, sometimes surgery or chemotherapy may be ineffective. But as CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, there is new hope for patients.
Liz Reichert was diagnosed with ovarian cancer after a medical episode while on vacation in Paris in 2019.
No other symptoms, except as I was sitting on that bus, I felt like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting a giant period.
It was stage 3B, with stage 4 being the most advanced form.
It meant that the cancer had already spread from my pelvic area into my peritoneum, which is the kind of sac that holds all your organs in your belly.
Ovarian cancer is typically quite advanced when it's finally detected. Reichert had surgery followed by platinum-based chemotherapy and has been doing very well for the past 6 years. But for most ovarian cancer patients, there comes a time when those platinum-based chemos no longer work. That's why the approval of a new drug called Elahere is so significant.
Mirvetuximab is the generic name. So it's approved for women with what we call platinum-resistant ovarian cancer.
Dr. Alan Covens says Elahere acts on the folate receptors on the cell membranes.
The majority of ovarian cancer cells, like 70-75%, will express folate receptor positivity on the cell membranes. So the majority of patients would be eligible to benefit from this drug. Not everybody, but the majority.
Reichert is living a good life now, but always aware of the chance of her cancer returning, and knowing new medications are becoming available keeps her full of hope. Elahere is expected to become available in Canada next year. In the meantime, patients should talk to their doctor about treatment options. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this with more CTV Morning Live. Good morning. It is 7 o'clock on Wednesday, September the 3rd. You're watching CTV Morning Live. Thank you so much for being with us. Today, for many kids, is the first day back in the classroom. So Ainsley has coverage for us throughout the morning, telling us about what families can expect this week. And then coming up at about 8:27, Shared Health is looking for some occupational therapists, especially in the Prairie Mountain Health region. So we're going to tell you why that job is really rewarding and the kind of work that you would be doing if you were an occupational therapist. But first, your headlines. The wrong direction. How have hospital wait times changed since the NDP took office? Plus, a first for Winnipeg, who is being brought in to improve police relations with the Indigenous community. And open for visitors, how a new campaign is working to get tourists back to northern Manitoba. Bringing in Terry now. A lot of kids are going back to school. My kids don't go back to school until Friday. Lucky them.
Right? Yeah, there's the staggered entry. My kid would have had an extra day off, but he signed up for student council, so he's there with the new crop of students that are fresh to the school, giving them tours today. So that's what I said. I said, good for you, because I would have taken the extra day to sleep in. Anyway, let's take a look and see what's happening outside, shall we? It's a cool 5 degrees right now. North-northwest winds. They're 10 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 95%. A few extra clouds out there. There's some pockets of a brighter sky behind those clouds, but with those clouds, there's also the possibility that we see a little bit of shower activity. So there you can see it moving through parts of the southeast. Wet streets and wet lawns this morning from what already fell last night, but moving into northwestern Ontario, that's where a lot of that is headed. For northern Manitoba, a bright, clear clear day for you, and eventually we'll start to see some of that clearing. But before the clearing happens, that chance of some scattered showers all through southern Manitoba. There you can see it is looking a little bit clearer into the afternoon, but this is all ahead of round 2, which will be coming in for tomorrow. So here's a look at this evening, and it's already starting to move into parts of the northwest. By morning time, you're going to notice it moving from the north to the southern border on the western side of the province. But then as we continue on through the day, it pushes over the eastern side as well. So some steadier rain expected for tomorrow, and even cooler temperatures than what we're expecting today. And for today, it'll be below seasonal. In fact, it'll be below seasonal throughout the week. 21 degrees, that's normal for this time of year. 13 today with that chance of showers, but steadier rain and cooler temps for tomorrow. After that, starting to see a little more sunshine, but it will take until next week before those temperatures are back to seasonal. And our art today, hope it doesn't disappear with those showers. 5-year-old Austin drew this for us on the sidewalk with some chalk. Thank you. Any medium we're accepting to see your art, draw, color, paint, sidewalk chalk, you name it. You can sculpt for what I would love to see. Send those art pictures to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. Fixing healthcare was one of Premier Wab Kinew's hallmark promises during the election campaign. But almost halfway through his mandate, it appears hospital wait times in Winnipeg are not trending in the right direction. New numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority show they're at times higher now than when the NDP took office. CTV's Jeff Keel reports.
Rebecca James and Pavel White are sleep deprived.
I'm pretty tired. I haven't slept. We haven't slept.
That's because they say they just spent 20 hours waiting in the St. Boniface Emergency Department as James was battling a blood infection.
Oh my God, exhausting and staying on a chair. I really hated it. And yeah, they're just really awful.
They're not the only ones waiting. The latest numbers from the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority show the median wait time in Winnipeg in December 2023 was 4 hours, an annual high. In February, a peak for the year so far of 3.97 hours. The times dipped down, only to go back up to 3.65 hours in July. All of these numbers are higher than August 2023, which was 3.23 hours 2 months before the NDP took office.
What we're hearing from both our nurses and from the public, wait times are increasing in our ERs and urgent care. So, yeah, we're definitely not going in the right direction.
Premier Wab Kinew and the NDP government promised to fix health care during the election campaign 2 years ago. Manitoba's health minister says since taking office, they've added more hospital beds, 900 net new nurses, 200 doctors, and hundreds of other healthcare workers, as well as primary and minor injury clinics. Plus, they say more initiatives and hires are on the way.
But what we need is a long-term, sustainable trend in the right direction, a meaningful change. That does take time, but we're going to continue doing the work so Manitobans see that happen.
The minister says other provinces are facing similar challenges, calling this a complex problem that will take time to mend.
The reality is we're dealing with the consequences of years of massive closures and cuts to emergency rooms.
I think that the time for playing the blame game and blaming the previous government has to stop.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The numbers from the WRHA also showed the median wait times for all hospitals in Winnipeg went up from 3.42 hours in July 2024 compared to 3.65 hours in July 2025. Meanwhile, the minister says they are working on improving health links to make sure patients are going to the right place so the ER is not clogged up. Plus, more doctors and emergency rooms are coming. And a reminder, in this year's budget, there was the pledge to reopen the emergency room at Victoria Hospital. In a first for the Winnipeg Police Service, the force has appointed an external Indigenous Relations advisor.
I know that we have strained relationships between Winnipeg Police and Indigenous people in our city and even in our province. We have a lot of work to do.
Sheila North brings a lengthy resume to the position. She's a former journalist and author and was MKO's first female Grand Chief. She's also served in Indigenous relations roles with the International Commission on Missing Persons and the University of Winnipeg. In her new role, she'll be an advisor to police brass focused on improving relations with the Indigenous community.
Someone had mentioned we have the largest Indigenous population, urban Indigenous population in the nation. I think it's extremely important that those individuals are protected, felt heard, and have a say in how that policing is conducted within this community.
Police Chief Jean Bauer says one of North's first assignments will be helping in the creation of an Indigenous Advisory Action Circle. A report on reducing mosquitoes in Winnipeg recommends a multi-million-dollar upgrade to the insect control facility. Right now, the city relies on fogging with a chemical called Delta Guard, but that chemical is no longer available, and the city will eventually use up what it has in stock. So it's looking for other ways to fight mosquitoes. The Standing Policy Committee on Community Services says one way is to increase larvicide in standing water. But ramping up that service requires extra staff and equipment, which the report says the current insect control facility on Gray Street can't handle. It's already relying on portable washrooms, off-site parking, and uses mobile trailers as change rooms. The report recommends a $13.5 million upgrade to the facility. The plan still needs to be approved by City Council. The Quebec government is now pulling the plug on a $7 billion electric vehicle battery plant near Montreal. The project was launched in 2023, and it was considered the largest private investment in Quebec history. Northvolt pledged to produce enough batteries to power 1 million electric vehicles a year. The Quebec government had promised up to $2.9 billion in financing for the project, while Ottawa committed up to $4.4 billion. $500 million of that has already been spent. Plans for the battery plant have been up in the air since Northvolt's Swedish parent company filed for bankruptcy in March. American battery startup Litton has announced it is acquiring Northvolt's assets and had hoped to buy the Northvolt project. New research suggests beta blockers may not benefit the vast majority of patients and may even raise the risk of death for some women. Beta blockers have been used for decades as a first-line treatment after a heart attack. One analysis focused only on women and found those with little heart damage after their heart attack were significantly more likely to have another heart attack if they were treated with beta blockers. They were also more likely to die than women who were not treated with the drug. Another study found no benefit in using beta blockers for any patient, male or female, whose hearts were still performing well after their heart attack. But a separate study did find benefits for those whose hearts may be mildly damaged. Travel Manitoba has launched a new campaign to help bring tourists back to areas of the province ravaged by wildfires this summer. The campaign's theme is Travel with Your Heart in the Right Place and highlights Whiteshell Provincial Park, Northern Manitoba, and communities and businesses which are open and ready to welcome visitors this fall. There's also a new website with road trip itineraries, travel deals, and planning resources. The campaign runs now until November, targeting Manitobans, Canadians, and international travelers. And here's a look now at what's going on in traffic along Norwood Bridge. Things are still looking pretty good over here. No issues to tell you about at this point. If you see any problems out there, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live in the library at the Sargent Park School. Good morning, Ainsley. What book have you chosen for yourself?
Good morning, Michelle. I thought this was fitting of the thousands of books here. What are sleep disorders? Only because I came in and ordered a coffee to Sargent Park School at like 5:30 in the morning. Back to school. I hope the kids have their breakfast. And 8:55 is when that bell is going to go off, and we're going to be chatting with some of the parents, maybe one of the students outside of it as that happens, and they hold up those signs. The library is where we are now, of course, specifically curated in this way, and that's what I love about it. An area for the junior high kids. The art on the walls was all painted by the students. There's even a little reading circle for the littles as well. So we're going to get some, age-appropriate books for your kids at home. Maybe the summer reading slide has got them. But yeah, we're going to be learning about the space. We're going to be heading to the band room and so much more. So stick with us on this Back to School.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a cool start to the day.
Yeah, it really is. And, I was just chatting with Jonah, who was in our graphics department, and she's going to be the one that puts all the numbers up on the screen that you're going to see right away. And just when I popped in there, because Environment Canada was saying that out at the airport, it's registering as a mix of sun and cloud. So I said, oh, you know what, Jonah, let's just change that cloud to a mix of sun and cloud. Because I had some clouds and some showers in there. So sure enough, that's what she's going to change it to, and you see. And now I step outside and it is completely overcast, at least in the downtown area. It looks sunny in St. James. I think that's the slogan, isn't it? Sunny in St. James. It does look clearer out there, so I'm not surprised that the airport is registering that mix of sun and cloud. But I'm seeing no sunshine up here in the downtown area at all. So anyway, I just told her to change it to a mix of sun and cloud, so she did. And now I step out here and I'm wrong. Anyway, in St. James, mix of sun and cloud. 5 degrees right now, north winds through 9 clicks, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 97%. It's cool out here this morning. Regardless of the sky conditions, that I can be very confident in saying throw an extra layer on before you step outside today. There's going to be a bit of a breeze also increasing, so just keep that in mind. It's not only going to be cool, but windy as well. For northern Manitoba, clearer conditions are expected. That's where I said, yeah, put some sunshine in there, and I don't know why I did. So it's looking a little cloudy now. There is that possibility of some morning showers. Into the afternoon, I'm still expecting that we'll see a little more sunshine, just not a lot more heat. 13 degrees is where we're topping out today, well below the seasonal 21.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful at 900 Lorimer Boulevard, featuring Hunter Douglas shades.
Well, the weather is cooler, as Terry said, and the kids are back in the classroom. So for our question of the day, we want to know, what's your favorite back-to-school tradition? And just a quick reminder, our question of the day has moved from Twitter. So now we want you to text your answer along with your name to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. At CTV Morning Live, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, whether they're furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday between 6 and 9 to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on CTV Morning Live. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back after this. Good morning. It is 7:16. The victim of the city's latest homicide is from a First Nation community in the Interlake. Police say 25-year-old Melvin Catchaway of Lake St. Martin First Nation was found seriously injured and unconscious in the 600 block of Langside Street shortly after midnight Friday. That's in the city's Spence neighborhood. He was brought to a hospital but later died. His death is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information or video surveillance is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. Visits to Winnipeg libraries are up this year and the number of incidents are down. That's according to a new report at City Hall, which shows total visits at Winnipeg's 20 public libraries is up nearly 11% in the second quarter compared to the same time last year. One of the exceptions was Millennium Library, which saw 6% fewer people. The report says that could be because the library adjusted its hours in the fall and buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue. The total number of incidents, which range from inappropriate behavior, medical incidents to assaults, are also down slightly across the system and at Millennium specifically. And speaking of the Millennium Library, temporary fencing has gone up along the railing on the 4th floor overlooking the atrium. The roughly 6-foot-tall wire fence was put up over the weekend. The city previously said the fencing would be installed on the 3rd and 4th floor and will stay there until a permanent solution is in place. It comes after a pair of incidents in recent weeks, including one where a man died. When adjusted for inflation, our province is spending less per student in public schools than it was 10 years ago. That's according to a new report from the Fraser Institute. It found during the 2022-23 school year, Manitoba spent a little more than $17,000 per student, or roughly $500 less than in 2013. Still, our province had the 4th highest spending in the country. Manitoba was also the only province with publicly available data where spending on teacher pensions fell. Ever wonder what happens to all the leftover food from Toronto's giant summer fair, the Canadian National Exhibition? Well, vendors this year are once again donating unused produce, canned goods, and other leftovers to the Second Harvest Food Bank. This is the second year of the program. Almost 30 vendors took part last year. This time around, there are even more taking part, rescuing about 11,000 kilos of food. That's awesome. Here's a look now what's going on in traffic on St. Mary's Road. Things are picking up over here, as you can see, as kids return to the classroom. If you see any traffic updates and you want to share them with us, please let us know.
CTV Morning Live Traffic is brought to you by the Winnipeg Humane Society. Your dollars change lives.
Time now for some entertainment news. SNL has its next Canadian cast member.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Comedian Veronica Słoikowska from Barrie is joining the show as one of 5 new featured players. She's known for her social media videos as well as roles on shows like Tires and What We Do in the Shadows. Season 51 on SNL premieres on October the 4th. Chloe Grace Moretz and Kate Harrison are officially married.
I'm Chloe Grace Moretz. And I'm Kate Harrison. And we are here for our final fitting with Louis Vuitton for our wedding dresses.
Vogue shared a sneak peek into their wedding dress fittings. In the video, Moretz also shares the story of their engagement. They both wore Louis Vuitton. This was their 3rd and final fitting before tying the knot over the Labor Day long weekend. Alanis Morissette is sharing a new track with some old footage.
It's coming around again.
In 1986, Carly Simon released the song Coming Around Again for the film Heartburn. Morissette has now covered the hit track for the film My Mother's Wedding. In this music video, there's a bunch of archival footage. The original vocals are still on the track along with Morissette's voice. Summer is nearly over, and so is this series.
I had these pillars in my life. Cousins, my family, Taylor, Jer.
The final trailer has been released for the last 3 episodes of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Are you Team Jeremiah or Team Conrad? Fans want to know which Fisher brother Belly will choose. A new episode is out today, and the entire series wraps September 17th. Here's a look now at your primetime lineup. At 7, it's MasterChef. At 8, Laugh Along with Match Game. Then at 9, Tim Allen keeps the comedy rolling in overdrive with back-to-back episodes of Shifting Gears.
All right, we're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. There's those heavier clouds that I was talking about right now. Yeah, it is looking pretty overcast, certainly from the downtown vantage point anyway. And these temperatures, they are cool this morning and below seasonal. 8 degrees would be a normal low. Most of us are, well, all of us now. I think Morton Winkler was at 9. You've dropped to 7. So all of us across southern Manitoba are below seasonal to kick off your mornings, not to mention the lack of sunshine and the heavier clouds or even some scattered showers. We'll look at the satellite image in a second. Ooh, it's the first one of the season. That is a negative number that we're seeing here on our map. Thompson, -1. Poor Rochelle, I made her spill her coffee. Yeah, I know, I get overly excited about things. It was at 0 degrees last hour. Thompson, you're now at -1 for the rest of northern Manitoba. Fistful of degrees, at least on the plus side of freezing. I hope you didn't spill your coffee at home either. Sometimes I can be a little dramatic. Anyway, there's a bit of shower activity that we saw earlier this morning pushing off to the east, but still the possibility of some showers here. We'll take a look at how temperatures will slowly rise today, remaining below seasonal, just barely into the double digits by midday, and low teens are expected. High when 21 degrees would be a normal high. We're not getting anywhere close to that. Could be even cooler tomorrow with some heavier clouds and some showers, eventually a little more sunshine, and eventually a little more warmth, and finally back to those seasonal temperatures once we're looking ahead to next week. And over the weekend, when we had all of that heat, Ringo went out for a canoe ride on the Badger River. Thanks to Michael for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. An exciting day, because today's the day that tickets are on sale for the HSC Millionaire Lottery, and somebody in this province is going to be the newest millionaire. Jonathan Lyon joining me. He's the president and CEO of HSC Foundation. Jonathan, thanks for having this chat, because so much is happening at HSC these days. Fill us in, please.
Yeah, it's an exciting time for innovation in healthcare at the Health Sciences Centre through the generosity of our lottery supporters and donors. We have recently acquired the Da Vinci robot, surgical robot, to provide more precise, accurate, better care for patients. And I'll give you an example of what this means to Manitobans. Recently, I was able to witness a surgery with the Da Vinci robot that was, again, acquired by Manitobans and their generosity. The first of its kind in Manitoba. This patient had a cancerous tumor resected or removed from their body. They were in and out of the hospital for that curative treatment within the same day. Before we acquired the robot, that patient would have had their ribs cut open. They would have spent at least 4 days in hospital with a longer recovery from the surgery. Again, 4 days in a hospital bed, higher risk of infection, and those sorts of things that come with it. But because of innovation, automation, and excellence at the Health Sciences Centre, acquiring Manitoba's first surgical robot is allowing that Manitoban and hundreds of others on an annual basis quicker diagnosis, quicker treatment, better outcomes, shorter hospital stays. It allows us to attract and retain medical professionals. All Manitobans win, and when you buy your lottery ticket, you're able to put your money to the foundation so that we can continue to fund innovation at HSC for the benefit of all Manitobans.
It's all the things that we have been waiting to hear about: better care, shorter wait times, and it all happens through your support. HSCMillionaire.com. Go check it out and get your ticket.
I guess you can call this a whiskey sour. Ontario Premier Doug Ford dumping out a bottle of Crown Royal in response to its plant closing in the province.
So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing.
Spirits maker Diageo announced last week it would cease operations at its bottling facility in Amherstburg in February of 2026. The company says they're moving some of the bottling to the U.S. This bottling facility in Amherstburg is the largest employer in the town. The closure will affect about 200 jobs. The company says the move is aimed at improving efficiency. Premier Ford says he asked the company if there were any incentives Ontario could provide, but company officials said no. Diageo will still operate its headquarters and warehouse operations in the greater Toronto area and bottling and distillation facilities in Manitoba and Quebec. And coming up, we're back in the library at this school. Kids are heading back to the classroom in this school division. Kenny just found a book. We'll be back after this with more back to school coverage. It's back to school time for many kids this morning, and it's 7:28. So in about an hour, they'll be heading back to the classroom. Ainsley, you are in the library. That's where a lot of magic happens in school. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Rochelle. While the kids are making sure that they have matching socks heading into school this morning, we are in the library. Maureen Wilson joins us to tell us about this space. It truly is spectacular because you've curated it this way. Tell us about it.
Well, we decided a few years ago to make our space the heart of the school, and we keep the students at the heart of our learning. So we decided to create a really flexible, inviting, and engaging space for our students.
And what does that mean when it comes to the specifics?
Well, we decided to break our library into zones. So we have an area where they can sit and engage in learning conversations with each other. We have students that can come to the library and find a space to work and even create projects together. We have some spaces that challenge them, a puzzle table, a dictionary space, and also we have the computers that the students can work on if they need to do some digital research.
Collaboration sounds like it's at the heart of it, like you mentioned, but there's also story time. Of course, we're in the library. The space for that is quite lovely.
It is, and before we head into the story corner, we have our Lego wall, our Lego tree, where students can create and collaborate and communicate and show off their own designs.
How dare I not talk about the Lego tree? Oh my goodness, what am I doing?
All right, now here we head into our wonderful story corner. So every student at Sargent Park has a book exchange class, and they come to the library. Our elementary students meet here. They share a story and they highlight different things in the literature that they can learn, and then they can choose their own books.
We're almost out of time. Give us one book recommendation.
Some great recommendations. I'm going to highlight our local author, David A. Robertson. He writes young adult novels, and he also writes wonderful picture books that our students can take out.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we got that in. Back to school. We're heading to another room. Guess which one it is?
Oh, I can't wait to find out. Okay, thank you, Ainsley.
He was just a guest on our show yesterday. How timely.
Absolutely. He is a good author, and we're so proud.
Prolific. You know, that was one of the things that I was thinking. Like, honestly, as far as like novels go, he's like the Taylor Swift of novels.
He
right?
has 4 more coming up in 2026. He told me this yesterday. So
yeah, very impressive. Cool. All right, and I mean, we're getting into book reading weather. Not that you can't read through the summer. Some teachers out there being like, come on, Terry. Of course you can. I also love my beach reads or sitting on a patio, but there's something that's really cozy about a cool day and a good book. And today is certainly one of those cool days. 5 degrees is where we're sitting right now, well below seasonal. A normal low would be 8, so we're not even hitting those low temperatures, and we're certainly not going to hit daytime highs. North winds are 11 clicks, the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 99%. And you can see those heavier clouds out there right now. There's not a lot of sunshine. Let's bring it back inside, shall we? Taking a look at the satellite image, and there you can see there was some precipitation in the overnight hours that is pushed now into parts of northwestern Ontario. But with these heavier clouds, there is still the possibility of some showers, and then likely to see some clearing a little bit later on into the day. 13 degrees, though. Don't expect a lot of sunshine, even that we will see later today, to bring much heat. And that's well below seasonal. 21 degrees, a normal high. It's also going to get breezy with winds out of the north, at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour, and then dropping right back to where we are now. 5 degrees expected overnight. Partly cloudy conditions. Northwest winds expected. Tomorrow, heavier clouds and some steadier rain on the way. Even cooler temperatures expected for tomorrow. And then on the other side of that, we'll slowly start to make some gains, seeing increasing amounts of sunshine and eventually some increasing temperatures. But low 20s are normal for this time of year, and we're not going to hit those numbers till the other side of the weekend.
Thanks, Terry. A 77-year-old man is dead, and a teenage boy is charged with dangerous driving following a crash in southwestern Manitoba. It happened Saturday at the intersection of Highway 23 and Highway 5 in the RM of Argyle. RCMP say a pickup truck driven by a 17-year-old was heading south of Highway 5 when it collided with an SUV heading west on 23. The crash sent the SUV rolling into the ditch. The driver of the SUV, a man from Killarney, died from his injuries. The teen wasn't injured, and police arrested and charged him with dangerous operation of a motor vehicle causing death. Firefighters returned to the scene of a possible arson Tuesday.
One-man demolition.
Fire broke out at the Exchange Event Center on Bannatyne Avenue early Tuesday afternoon. Crews used drones as part of the attack and had the fire out in about an hour. This is the second fire at this building. There was another one there Friday, which police say was a possible arson. No one was hurt, and there are no damage estimates. Repair crews are working on an historic building in Winnipeg's Exchange District. The Peck building at 33 Princess Street was built in 1893. On Tuesday, construction fencing has cordoned off the pedestrian sidewalk around the building. The city says it received a complaint parts of the building's moldings were hanging loose. The city ordered the building owner to remediate the issue. The fencing is in place as a precaution to pedestrians. No word on when the work will be complete. Some people forced out from the Long Lake wildfire in Nova Scotia will be allowed to return to their homes today. The province says people at about 360 addresses will be allowed back in. That leaves 131 addresses still under the evacuation order. While it has been deemed safe to return, officials say it's still an active forest fire situation and people should be ready to leave their homes again if the conditions change. The Long Lake wildfire is still considered to be out of control. It's a frustrating reality, waiting on hold with the Canada Revenue Agency for what seems like forever, only to be disconnected.
I have not been able to get anybody, and I'm not interested in waiting another 59 minutes, 59 seconds, and then be cut off.
And she's not the only one. It's become such a problem that the Minister of Finance is now giving the CRA 100 days to do something about it. Minister François-Philippe Champagne says it's increasingly apparent that the CRA is not meeting the reliable and timely service that Canadians expect and deserve. The union representing CRA employees says wait times have, quote, exploded to as long as 3.5 hours at the CRA call center, with fewer than 5% of callers actually reaching an agent. In 2024, the CRA had more than 59,000 employees. Since then, 7,000 people have been laid off. Prime Minister Mark Carney and his cabinet will start 2 days of meetings today. The retreat in Toronto is being called a cabinet planning forum. This comes about 2 weeks before the House of Commons starts its fall sitting. Canada's trade war with the U.S. is expected to be the main focus of talks, although some critics say it isn't much of a fight anymore now that most of Canada's counter tariffs on the U.S. have come down. One minister says this is not a sign of Ottawa giving in.
If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back. You leave the room, you'll see.
A federal appeals court upheld a ruling which found President Trump's Liberation Day and fentanyl-related tariffs illegal. President Trump is expected to ask the U.S. Supreme Court today for a quick ruling. The Tokyo Toy Show isn't just for kids. Japan's toy market has seen 5 straight years of growth, much of it fueled by demand from adults. Industry insiders have a term for these customers, kidults. This means toys that are collectible and nostalgic. It doesn't sound like much fun. If it doesn't sound like much fun, don't worry. There are plenty of other toys at the show for kids so they can start making memories of their own. And here's a look now what's happening in traffic along the St. James Bridge. Things are picking up here, but overall moving quite well, as you could see. No issues to tell you about at this point. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.39. The provincial average is also $1.39. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.40. The lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.27. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
Right now, we are sitting at 5 degrees. We'll be back after this short break.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It's 5 degrees and pretty cloudy out there now. North winds 11 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 99%. It's not just cloudy, it's cool. I mean, 5 degrees is below seasonal. It's going to remain below normal all throughout the day today. And that's probably going to be the case through most of the province, although northern Manitoba will see a lot more sunshine than anything we're experiencing here in the south. There was some shower activity that rolled through last night, now pushing into northwestern Ontario, but we may still see some of those scattered showers across southern Manitoba today. A much brighter day expected, though, across the north. Not quite seasonal temperatures. Mid-teens will be closer to normal for you this time of year, and instead you're just barely getting up into those double digits, so still a little cool, but the conditions looking better, a lot brighter, plenty more sunshine expected. It may be a couple degrees warmer over here in the northwest, pushing up into those almost mid-teens. Southern Manitoba, where 21 degrees is normal for this time of year, we're not even getting close to those numbers and won't throughout this week. We've got the heavier clouds, that possibility of some scattered shower activity, and that'll be the case today with some stronger winds. Eventually, it might start to clear later on into the afternoon and evening time. A clearer, brighter day, although the sun is setting at just 10 past 8 now, so we don't have long evenings to enjoy, and we've got cool nights to enjoy. 5 degrees that we fell to this past night, we're going to do that again in this coming night. So it will be cool and even cooler yet tomorrow, perhaps even soggier with more rain on the way. Eventually a little more sunshine, increasing amounts through the weekend, and increasing temperatures as well, back to seasonal for the start of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about kids' return to the classroom today. Many of them are going back on this day, some a little bit later on this week. But teachers have been going back for a couple weeks now, getting their classrooms ready. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. How lucky them, eh? Mr. Ruiz joins us now. Mrs. Parker on my right. Now, I say it like that because, you know, when a kid sees you in person, they don't want to hear your first name. You never see a teacher at a grocery store. It's like, you're a real person. Oh, my goodness. What an exciting day. What an exciting morning. Not just for the kids, but for the teachers as well.
Very exciting. We can't wait for the kids to come to school.
And you like to welcome them in. What's the way in which you do so?
So the kids line up. There are my greetings over here. So they choose what they want to do. So they can give me a morning hug, a high five, a fist bump, a wave, and a smile. It helps build community. It helps make them feel safe and seen and welcome. And we do this every morning when they come in.
I love that, and I love that it's you. Okay, also, there's a way that you guys collaborate. Maybe define that for us, what it looks like inside the classroom.
Well, we work together a lot on everything. We have 5 grade 1-2s classes at our school, so it's a great opportunity for us all to work together, bounce ideas off of each other, and
sorry, we're maneuvering through the door.
So it's a really amazing opportunity to work in a school with so many amazing teachers that give us so many great ideas of what to do in our classrooms.
And when it comes to the space itself, how do you guys break it down? There's a calendar?
Yes, we have a calendar, and then we do it during morning meeting every day. We have our visual schedule over here. It kind of shows the kids what to expect throughout the day. We have like the routine, promotes visual literacy for the students.
Routine is so important. And also, there was one more thing that you guys wanted to talk about before we're out of time.
Sure. We have one more area that we all sort of include in our classrooms, and it's our calming corner. We teach students all about self-regulation, recognizing feelings in their body, and strategies to deal with those feelings.
How important, especially at such a young age. Everybody, take a deep breath if you're watching and head to school. It's almost, the bell's going to ring soon. Hurry up.
Thanks, Ains. Quebec has announced it's pulling the plug on Northvolt, a Swedish company behind plans for a multi-billion-dollar EV battery factory in the province, which has already invested millions. Here's CTV's Geneviève Beauchemin.
Some trees were cut, the site prepared on this vast stretch of land east of Montreal where the Northvolt plant was to be built. But Quebec has now made it official. The project that was to give energy transition a boost is dead. The minister responsible for the file in Quebec, Christine Fréchette, announced the end of its financing deal for the battery plant and a plan to try to recuperate some of the money it invested. The project was launched in 2023, touted as the largest private investment in Quebec history. Swedish manufacturer Northvolt, then run by former Tesla executives, pledged to produce enough batteries to power 1 million electric vehicles a year on land in McMasterville and Saint-Basile-le-Grand.
But we couldn't help glancing at Quebec.
The project was touted as a cornerstone of the Filière Batterie, Quebec's bid to be a hub for EV battery production. Ottawa pledged money but hadn't put it in yet, while Quebec taxpayers spent nearly $500 million. Northvolt hit a series of roadblocks. Critics blamed the government for ignoring environmental assessment rules. EV sales also slowed, and Northvolt's financial woes added up.
Évidemment, on est déçus.
The mayor of McMasterville now says the town is disappointed to lose the thousands of high-paying jobs promised, but it's looking to the future. And Quebec says while Northvolt is done, the province's EV battery supply chain is still in the works. Now the municipality is looking to see just what else will be built here to replace this massive project. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, McMasterville, Quebec.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday in Fort. We head to Kansas City. Royals taking on the Angels. Zach Neto, one hops into short. Bobby Witt Jr. diving and getting the ball, quickly pops up and fires a dart to first for the out. An incredibly athletic play by Witt, showing why he won the Gold Glove in 2024 and why he claims the must-see moment from Tuesday. And today on TSN, we've got quarterfinal action from the U.S. Open. Canadian Felix Auger-Aliassime is taking on Alex de Minaur with coverage beginning at 10:30 a.m. Central. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
TSN Must See Moments brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, your Hunter Douglas shade provider for over 40 years. CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
All right, you're going to want that extra layer on this morning. It is one of the cooler mornings that we've experienced so far. And it's going to be one of the cooler days that we've experienced so far. I'm talking like of this season, I suppose. Or let's go with September. It's definitely the coolest day of September that we've had so far. I know it's the second. That was my joke. Anyway, we've got some heavier clouds hanging over us this morning. 6 degrees is where we're sitting right now. So that's up a degree from from the 5 degrees. That was our coolest temperature overall. North winds, they're 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 97%. A seasonal low, though, would be around 8 degrees. So even though we're starting to make some gains, we're still below seasonal, and our expected high high today will keep us off the mark of that number as well. Heavier clouds here in the south with the possibility of some scattered showers, damp lawns, patios, puddles out there this morning. There was some shower activity overnight, and we still could see some this morning. For northern Manitoba, it's a much clearer, brighter day. We'll eventually get that clearing later on into the afternoon. But even as the sun eventually makes an appearance, temperatures remaining below seasonal, topping out in the low teens when 21 is normal for this time of year.
On Canadian campuses, Ottawa's cap on international students is creating challenges, not only impacting some programs, but also triggering a loss of talent. CTV's Maria Saru reports.
The doors swing open. It's the first day back for students at Holland College. But this semester, there are fewer options, the fallout from Canada's cap on international students.
There's financial issues, there's social issues, there's cultural issues.
Earlier this year, Holland College suspended 8 programs and downsized 3. Some were tied to the province's biggest sectors, like tourism and hospitality. The school's president points to the changing rules on post-grad work permits. Eligibility for international students in college-level programs depends on graduating from fields linked to labor shortages. He says Ottawa determined the affected programs don't fit the bill.
That's not what our industry tells us. I'm getting letters from the industry associations and operators themselves. It begs understanding because the idea that there's no labor shortage in these areas is simply untrue.
Canada's temporary 2-year cap aimed to cut new international study permits by 35% in 2024 and another 10% in 2025. Across Atlantic Canada and here at Holland College, the drop is having an outsized effect, according to education experts.
There are future professionals, business leaders, community leaders, healthcare professionals, and they're just so important to the development of our region.
In a statement to CTV, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada said the aim is to create a pipeline of international student graduates whose skills match the country's long-term economic and labor needs, adding eligible fields include healthcare, social services, education and trade. Canada's Auditor General has launched a probe of the international student program. That report is due in Parliament next year. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
The Trump administration is vowing to expand the use of the military in another major American city, as a California judge ruled that the U.S. president's use of troops to fight crime in California was illegal. Here's CTV's Joy Malvin.
After a brutally violent weekend on the streets of Chicago, President Donald Trump made his move.
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in.
Calling Chicago a hellhole. Trump plans to deploy federal troops just as he has done in Washington. Over 2,000 National Guard armed and walking the streets. And last June in Los Angeles, the Guard and Marines were deployed to arrest and put down immigration protests.
If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country.
Chicago's governor couldn't be more blunt, saying, "You are not welcome here."
I refuse to play a reality game show with Donald Trump again. What I want are the federal dollars that have been promised to Illinois and Chicago for violence prevention programs.
And calling the president's comments unhinged.
Have we truly lost all sense of sanity in this nation, that we treat this as normal?
Still, Chicago's bracing for what played out in Los Angeles as soon as this week. Even as a California judge ruled, the White House broke a federal law by using the military for domestic law enforcement.
Instead of using militarized ICE agents to terrify our communities here in Chicago, they should direct those resources to taking down gun traffickers so that we can finally put a stop to the violence.
But for some who live here in Chicago,
we don't need a Band-Aid to cover up the problem. What we need is a solution.
In a rare united response last week, 19 Democratic governors condemned Trump's threat to send in the troops, calling it an alarming abuse of presidential power.
Ready to go.
Learning how to play an instrument today. We're going to learn a little bit more about band in school. Stay with us. It's time for Let's Celebrate. Let's do having a celebration today. Happy 21st birthday to Shane. Lots of love from your mom. Happy 7th birthday to Andreas with love from all your family in Pinemutang. Happy 11th birthday to Philip. Love mom, dad, Hannah, Jordan, and Dylan. Happy birthday to Dorothy. Wishing you many more with love from your husband, Brent. Happy 10th birthday to Kenneth. Hope you have the best day. Love mom, dad, Sahara, Kalia, and the rest of the family. Happy 2nd anniversary to Chris and Javwa. Lots of love from your family. And a happy 90th birthday to Dell with love from your kids, family, and friends. If someone you care about is having a birthday, anniversary, retirement, or graduation, let's celebrate. To submit your celebration, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Let's Celebrate, brought to you by Party Stuff, 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca.
Good morning, it's 8 o'clock on your Wednesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on CTV Morning Live. If you're looking for advice on romance or how to acquire longevity or even any advice from some of the OGs, we have the Misericordia Center and their residents are providing some advice for people. They have a brand new life advice line. We're going to tell you more about that and what kind of tips you can get from some of the residents there. But first, your headlines. Some relief at checkout, why lower tariffs could soon mean savings for shoppers and small businesses. Plus, Manitoba spending per student drops, how the province compares to the rest of Canada. And splash, shake, repeat. The Alberta pool party where dogs make the biggest waves. And nobody's going to want to be in the pool today, Terry, because it is a cold one.
I know. Even just the puddles that are out there from the rain last night, there's that dampness to the air and a chill to it for sure. All right, let's take a look at some of these numbers, shall we? 6 degrees right now. Looks like we've got some fog developing outside as well, not just the heavier clouds. Ooh, look at the way the fog just kind of wafts on by. Kind of cool. Anyway, north winds, they're 16 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising. The humidity sitting at 97%. It is cool. It's cloudy. It's foggy now, too. It was soggy earlier this morning. There's a look at the showers that moved through parts of the southeast into northwestern Ontario now. Still, though, the possibility that we see some of that activity today all through southern Manitoba, that possibility of shower activity. For northern Manitoba, things are looking a lot clearer, a lot brighter. Not a whole lot warmer, but you might end up actually a degree or two warmer, especially here in the northwest. We'll watch as things continuously clear and eventually clear out for us here in southern Manitoba. But then for tomorrow, another round of rain, and this one actually begins tonight in parts of the northwest. By tomorrow morning, all along this western half of the province, the steadier rain from the north right down to the south, and we'll start to see that as it pushes further to the east as well. So it's only going to get cooler for the next day or two, and then eventually warming up a little bit. Expect these below seasonal temperatures to last through the week. Once we're looking ahead to the weekend, still below seasonal, but we're starting to see a few more breaks in the clouds, a little more sunshine, and eventually the warmth that'll come along with it. By next week, temperatures are back to seasonal, maybe even slightly above 21 degrees. That's actually normal for this time of year. And 5-year-old Austin is our artist for today with some sidewalk art. Thank you for this, Austin. We would love to see whatever you're working on. Draw, color, paint, sculpt, you name it. We will take your art. Send a picture of it, please, to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
A 15-year-old boy is dead after the dirt bike he was driving hit a train. It happened early Tuesday afternoon at the railway crossing on Pleasant Road, just south of Highway 15 in the RM of Springfield. RCMP say the teen was riding a dirt bike south on Pleasant Road when it hit a train at the crossing. The boy, who is from Steinbach, was pronounced dead at the scene. RCMP continued to investigate. Relief may be coming for consumers at the grocery store and small businesses. Ottawa has dropped a number of tariffs on U.S. products covered by the CUSMA Free Trade Agreement. Shoppers aren't seeing lower prices just yet, but they're hoping costs could start to ease soon.
Coffee especially, so I have to look around for better prices. I don't know that anything's gone down.
At Silver Heights Food Fair, Tom Roloff searches for the best deal on coffee, a cost he says keeps climbing. Local businesses hope relief is on the way after the federal government scrapped 25% tariffs on U.S. goods under CUSMA. And Roloff hopes he'll see the effect sooner rather than later. Food expert Sylvain Charlebois says that change will have a big impact on many everyday items.
That list would include coffee, tea, nuts, spices, dried pasta, sauces, pickles, anything in a jar coming from the U.S.
Charlebois says food inflation is at 3.4%, higher than the normal rate of 1.5 to 2.5%. He believes the removal of counter tariffs is a step toward bringing costs down. But business owners caution it may take time to see prices drop until current stock sells. The victim of the city's latest homicide is from a First Nation community in the Interlake. Police say 25-year-old Melvin Catchaway of Lake St. Martin First Nation was found seriously injured and unconscious in the 600 block of Langside Street shortly after midnight Friday. That's in the city's Spence neighborhood. He was brought to hospital but later died. His death is being investigated as a homicide. Anyone with information or video surveillance is asked to contact police or Crime Stoppers. When adjusted for inflation, our province is spending less per student in public schools than it was 10 years ago. That's according to a new report from the Fraser Institute. It found during the 2022-23 school year, Manitoba spent a little more than $17,000 per student, or roughly $500 less than in 2013. Still, our province had the fourth highest spending in the country. Manitoba was also the only province with publicly available data where spending on teacher pensions fell. Well, here's one way to help cool down the dog days of summer. An outdoor pool in St. Albert, Alberta was filled with pups for an annual dog-only swimming event. All the proceeds from the day go toward an animal shelter. It also marked the last day for swimming in the public school, which is all the more reason to let it go to the dogs. They look happy. Here's a look now what's happening on the St. James Bridge. Things are moving really well over here. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in traffic. If you see any problems in the drive this morning, let us know, please.
CTV Morning Live Traffic brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who is live in the music room this morning. The music program is so important in education. Good morning.
Rochelle, if you were watching well, you were, of course.
Oh, yes. I saw.
If they were watching
I also
earlier,
heard.
You were narrating. In the music room, you know, cameraman Kenny was doing his thing. What I learned from the music teacher here, Jake Van Hazewick, that you can be a beginner.
You could be a beginner. You could be whatever you want to be in this room. But where do I take this? Okay, great. All levels are welcome in this room. We teach to the student, and the goal here is have fun, and hopefully after this you would want to pursue music further.
And when it comes to those building blocks, how do they choose which instrument?
I guess that would be dependent on first preference, of course, but a lot of kids come in here don't know really what the instruments are, so just kind of giving them an idea of the different types of instruments in the room, give them a chance to try them all out, and then trying to make a balanced band by the end of music choices. And of course you could change instruments throughout the year and see how it goes.
What does that look like when it comes to the collaboration piece?
Well, I think any band teacher would say that one of the best parts about this job is when everyone comes together and the kids are all feeling that those goosebumps when everyone is making that sound and producing the music rather than just passively listening to it. And that could be a really powerful moment for everyone. So,
Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra, the kids aren't all going to go there, unfortunately, but there's going to be some building blocks for them. Tell us about what some of those skills are that they can take into life later.
Well, I think the main one would probably be that it's really good for people to have an opportunity to work at something and practice something because in this day and age, I feel like technology makes things so much easier for everyone, and having a skill like this can move to different areas and allow you to work hard on all sorts of things in life. So I think it's, yeah, absolutely.
Islands in the street, that is what we are. No one in between. How can you? That's you.
You could be Manitoba's newest millionaire, but you got to get your ticket. The campaign kicked off this morning for the HSE Millionaire Lottery. I'm joined, of course, you know her, Chrissy Troy of Virgin Radio. Chrissy, we always have a blast shooting this. It's so much fun, but it's more than the fun that we have. Let's talk about why you want to take part in this.
So I feel very honored to play a very small role in helping Health Sciences Centre Foundation. I know you do too. I know Milt feels the exact same way. So what I really love the most is project innovation. So Health Sciences Centre has a plan for Manitobans to eliminate wait times by 2030. They are on pace for this already. And it's really cool because we've gotten to see some of the very cool technology that they've brought in the last couple of years because of benefits from this lottery. And so I think that there's a real plan, and I feel really cool being part of that.
Yeah, we are lucky in this job, not just to get to see stuff like that, but even meet some of the faces of the people that it's helped. So really cool there. Not to mention cool are some of the prizes up for grabs. What stood out for you as far as some of the prizes?
So obviously, right, 1.25 million tax-free.
Hello.
Right, that's what everybody wants, right? These show homes are amazing too, but I really love the Made in Manitoba prizes. I think that Health Sciences Centre Foundation has worked really hard over the last couple of years to really make sure that because so many Manitobans are supporting the lottery, that they are supporting Manitobans as well in terms of let's really elevate some of these businesses because we've got a bunch of really, really great local prizes. So I really do love the Manitoba prizes.
Yeah, and you'll find a whole list of those prizes when you go on the website, hscmillionaire.com. And not only the Made in Manitoba prizes, but of course, she mentioned the 1.25 tax-free cash, gas and groceries for a year. That will stretch you far. So many reasons to give back, not to mention all of the work that they're doing to make HSC the incredible feature that it is here in our community, helping people like you, helping people like us, and really making our community better. Looking through the Bathfitter Live Eye now. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. It's cloudy outside. It's cool. It's a little bit foggy, too. We've been noticing just in the last hour or so some of that fog kind of creeping into the downtown area yet. 6 degrees, our temperatures, they're really taking their sweet time warming up. We're not even yet at seasonal values. Normal lows would be around 8. So most of us are below seasonal. There's Morton Winkler just having gotten back up to 8. You were at 7 last hour. Moving up into northern Manitoba, you're going to see some impressive gains as well. Round of applause for Thompson. You went from -1 last hour to +1. So you're back on the right side of the freezing mark, as is everybody else, but not by much. Fistful of degrees above freezing right now for northern Manitoba. But better sky conditions, a lot more sunshine across northern Manitoba versus the heavier clouds and even the precipitation across southern Manitoba that we can expect through the morning hours. As we watch the temperatures rise today, you're going to notice that everybody remains below seasonal. Here's noontime, barely into the double digits or still likely in the single digits across much of northern Manitoba, where you might push up into those double digits. And for us, just another few degrees, 13 degrees, the average temperature across southern Manitoba, well below the seasonal 21. So it'll be cool today, but eventually clearing out, dropping down to 5 again overnight with a round of rain expected for tomorrow and cooler temps yet. After that, eventually seeing increasing amounts of sunshine, but it'll take until next week before we see the temperatures return to seasonal. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Good morning, it's 8:15. A key security summit is underway in China, attended by 3 of Donald Trump's political rivals from China, Russia, and India. CTV's correspondent Mike Le Couture has more on what it could mean for the new world order.
The meeting of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is the biggest diplomatic event of the year in China, and many see it as a way for President Xi Jinping to rally countries who have become the target of U.S. President Donald Trump. Preparations have been meticulous for what is being called China's largest military parade ever. Celebrations commemorating the end of the Second World War will also showcase new drones, hypersonic missiles, and fighter jets. Perhaps more important are the guests who will be watching the display of military might. Kim Jong-un arrived on his armored train, a rare foreign trip for the North Korean leader.
Xi Jinping has been promoting this idea since 2017 that China will become the new global hegemon in what he refers to as the community of the common destiny of mankind.
Kim is expected to stand shoulder to shoulder at the ceremony with Russia's president. Vladimir Putin has been attending 2 days of meetings where China's president praised the two countries' lasting good neighborly friendship. President Xi also talked about establishing a model of mutually beneficial cooperation and win-win relations between major powers.
I think Xi is succeeding in presenting an alternative to the multilateral rules-based order that we've lived under for the last 80 years.
That summit included Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, a country dealing with 50% tariffs from the U.S. And some believe China is trying to take advantage of the current global climate.
China is putting on a strong display of strength and is making itself out to be a responsible stakeholder in global affairs.
President Donald Trump was asked about Russia and China forming an axis against the U.S. He says he's not concerned at all about it. Mike Lequiter, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Assembly of First Nations is in Winnipeg this week for its annual meeting, which starts today. Some chiefs say this could be the most important one ever. CTV's Alex Carpa with what to expect.
Indigenous leaders from coast to coast are set to meet in Winnipeg this week, with the topic of major national projects expected to dominate discussions.
Conversations are not always easy, but they're necessary. And, you know, I think on the Building Canada Act, there's lots of unknowns.
National Chief Cindy Woodhouse, Nepenak, said politicians will be paying close attention to resolutions chiefs passed regarding Ottawa's major projects legislation, Bill C-5, which has seen strong opposition from some First Nations leaders.
There is First Nations out there that are, you know, it's up to them to say yes or no to a particular project, and we don't know what those are yet.
Bill C-5, which was passed in June, allows projects like pipelines and shipping ports to be fast-tracked without much consultation.
Major project discussions must include us, because these decisions affect our people's inherent right and treaty rights.
Manitoba Grand Chief Garrison Settee says it's not only important for First Nations voices to be heard, but to be part of the decision process regarding future projects on Indigenous territory.
Our leaders will no longer accept any arbitrary or unilateral decisions made by governments without free, prior, and more informed consent.
There are other important topics set to be discussed over the next week, including healthcare, policing, child welfare, and housing.
Rapidly increasing homelessness within the streets of Winnipeg, largest urban Indigenous population in Canada. The socioeconomic disparities within this region are quite significant.
It is important to note that some federal ministers will be in attendance for the meeting, including Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Rebecca Alty. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is also slated to be part of the gathering. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A community organization in Elmwood woke up Tuesday morning to find its trailer and custom-built shed gone, and with it a huge cache of donated items that were supposed to go to residents. Now, as CTV's Harrison Shin shows you, the organization is wondering what it will do next.
A broken chain. This was the welcome back from the long weekend that greeted the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Organization.
We had a wonderful shed on a trailer that was built by community hands and community partners, and it's gone. Somebody stole it last night over the long weekend.
Villarba says the trailer was at the corner of this lot, and there's a reason for that.
It had a little stage on it so that we could create those opportunities for people to come and gather and perform and do things.
They haven't just lost a performance space. The shed on top of the trailer was filled with donations destined for improving the neighborhood.
Some planters and some other benches and some seating and some equipment to maintain the grounds.
Villarba added the shed was a symbol of a friendship with their late city councilor, Jason Schreier.
243 came to life because of our late city councilor, Jason Schreier. We were going to build a commemorative space for him here, and that shed was part of the plan. But now it's gone.
Winnipeg Police tell CTV News the theft will be investigated as a commercial break and enter. Villarba is hoping the trailer and the shed come back.
Having a shed like taken from a property that is meant for the community is really kind of disheartening.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Let's go out now to the rooftop where it's cool and it looks like breezy too, Terry.
I know, and I was just thinking how fast I'm going to have to walk home today because I still haven't figured out the new bus system. Remember, they changed buses. Well, when was that? I guess the start of July. I had a couple of months, but it's been nice, so I haven't had to figure out the new bus route. And now I don't know what bus to take, and I'm thinking if I'm going to stay warm, I'm going to have to hustle. Keep up that pace. Whew. Yeah, so throw the extra layer on. The layer I've got is not really enough to be comfortable, honestly. And it's a pretty, I mean, it's a good windproof. There's a little bit of a fuzzy lining inside. Anyway, if I were choosing again, I'd choose more. 6 degrees with a north wind, 17 clicks. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 98%. We've got the heavier clouds hanging over us. There was some rain earlier this morning. As a result, things are feeling kind of damp as well, and that's where the chill comes from. I know in the prairies, we always like to look at folks on the west coast or to the east, and we're like, but at least it's a dry cold when they tell us that Manitoba is so cold. That's true, but this morning it's a damp cold, and we're feeling that chill to the bone. Mostly it's the transition as we're changing into the fall season. Not that it's technically fall, but it's certainly feeling like it this week. Below seasonal temps expected to last right up until the weekend. With the heavier clouds this morning, we may see some scattered showers. For northern Manitoba, it's a little bit clearer, a little bit brighter, and we'll start to see that clearing here in the south into the afternoon. But then another round of rain tomorrow with even colder temperatures. So tomorrow I will come better dressed. I took this as my warning, learned my lesson. I will be prepared for tomorrow with cooler temps and soggier conditions. Little Ringo had a blast. Of course, this picture was taken over the weekend when it was beautiful and hot. He was out for a canoe ride on Badger River. Thanks to Michael for the photo. Keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
CTV Morning Live Weather brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
An Edmonton family is paying tribute to their late father by releasing new music. They stumbled upon a master tape of their father's that was never recorded. Now the sounds of his accordion is music to their ears. CTV's Merrick Takach has the story.
Paul Sveen is pressing play on a special record, his dad's 31st and final album.
We were cleaning the house out and we happened to find a box with several master tapes in them. I recognized the names of the albums in it, and I go, these are my dad's albums.
Paul's late father, Olaf Sveen, was a decorated accordionist from Norway. He immigrated to Canada in 1949. Olaf sold more than 300,000 records. However, this one was never released.
We had to get this produced. We had to get this done, and it became a mission.
Olaf died in 2007. Since then, his family has taken it upon themselves to finish the record titled Double Trouble.
He really went out of his way to record this album, but he never produced it, and that was, to me, the mystery.
The record is a double album featuring Olaf playing 2 different accordions.
It's such a find because my dad was an old school musician, and there's not very many of them left.
The family is choosing not to profit from the album, instead releasing it on YouTube for all to hear.
We feel like he helped us get this finished.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
CTV Morning Live is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
Good morning. Occupational therapists help people get back or even maintain their independence. There are tools, exercises, and even tasks that occupational therapists use to help people adapt to their new way of life or stay strong in their existing one. Right now, there's a real need for new occupational therapists in the Westman area, and Shared Health is on a recruitment drive. Joining us now is occupational therapist Arceli Tagay. Good morning, Arceli.
Hi, good morning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. You've been an occupational therapist for 30 years, 23 with the Prairie Mountain Health Region.
Yes.
What is it about this job you love so much?
Well, I'm very compassionate about it. I find it very rewarding and fulfilling, especially when I see my clients achieve their goals and have a meaningful impact in their lives. I also have the opportunity to work with different ethnic backgrounds, different social backgrounds, and different genders.
Okay, and so what is it you do exactly?
Well, we help clients to restore, maintain, and improve their ability to perform their activities of daily living after an illness or injury. Like activities of daily living is very broad. It's pretty much comprises of self-care, productivity, and leisure. So we help them be able to be independent, getting dressed, going to the bathroom, things that you pretty much have to do on a daily basis.
Okay.
Especially if you had a stroke or any medical illnesses that affects your ability to perform an activity.
And this could happen in a hospital setting or in a personal care home, but also in schools,
yes.
even in someone's home. So you're really getting up close and personal with people's lives, right?
Yes, we're very hands-on, yeah. And yeah, you can pretty much see occupational therapists in a diverse setting. We address physical disability. We also address some cognitive issues or some mental health issues. And in a school setting, we work with kids with have different disability, like different spectrum, like autism.
Yep. So Shared Health right now is on a recruitment drive. They need
Yes.
some more occupational therapists in the Prairie Mountain Health region. What are you doing to recruit, and why is this a good job to get into?
Well, right now, Prairie Mountain Health is doing an outreach program. It's happening on October 18.
Okay.
It's at the Brandon Regional Health Center. It's from 10 to 4 p.m. So there'll be some new grads and high school students. So they'll talk more about occupational therapists.
Yeah.
It is a good job. It is a very stable job. If you're a compassionate person, you like helping people, working with people, and have a meaningful impact in their lives. Occupational therapist might be a career for you.
And the money is also very good, from what I understand.
Yes, it is.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this with us. 30 years as an occupational therapist. Congratulations on a wonderful career.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing your time with us today.
Thank you.
Yes, that is impressive. Congratulations. Something to be proud of. All right, outside this morning, it's 6 degrees. We've got a bit of a breeze out of the north, 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 98%. We've got some heavier clouds hanging over us right now, even a little bit of fog and that dampness in the air from the passing precipitation last night. Most of that has moved off to the east, although the possibility still that we see some showers this morning. That's more of a southern Manitoba thing. For northern Manitoba, things are looking a little bit clearer and a little bit brighter too. We might start to see things looking a little bit brighter into the afternoon, but first the heavier clouds could possibly bring some showers, and then clearing is expected later on into the day. But also later today, the winds will be increasing out of the north and at times gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. Put that breeze on top of cool temperatures, and it is going to feel a little bit chilly today. 13 degrees are expected high. Compare that to a seasonal high of 21. We're not even getting close to that. 8 degrees a normal low temperature. We had dropped as low as 5 last night. We'll likely do it again this coming night with some moderate winds out of the northwest. Lighter winds tomorrow. They'll be shifting, but periods of rain are expected through the day, and even cooler temperatures yet. A high of just 10 degrees with the heavier clouds, and yes, that steady rain. But eventually, the rain will end. The clouds begin to break up. We'll see increasing amounts of sunshine into the weekend, and even some better temperatures on the other side of the weekend. Next week, we'll see the mercury returning to seasonal values.
Thank you, Terry. Visits to Winnipeg libraries are up this year, and the number of incidents are down. That's according to a new report at City Hall, which shows total visits at Winnipeg's 20 public libraries is up nearly 11% in the second quarter compared to the same time last year. One of the exceptions was Millennium Library, which saw 6% fewer people. The report says that could be because the library adjusted its hours in the fall and buses are no longer traveling down Graham Avenue. The total number of incidents, which range from inappropriate behavior, medical incidents to assaults, are also down slightly across the system and at Millennium specifically. And speaking of the Millennium Library, temporary fencing has gone up along the railing on the 4th floor overlooking the atrium. The roughly 6-foot tall wire fence was put up over the weekend. The city previously said the fencing would be installed on the 3rd and 4th floor and will stay there until a permanent solution is in place. It comes after a pair of incidents in recent weeks, including one where a man died. In a first for the Winnipeg Police Service, the force has appointed an external Indigenous Relations advisor.
I know that we have strained relationships between Winnipeg Police and Indigenous people in our city and even in our province. We have a lot of work to do.
Sheila North brings a lengthy resume to the position. She's a former journalist and author and was MKO's first female Grand Chief. She's also served in Indigenous relations roles with the International Commission on Missing Persons and the University of Winnipeg. In her new role, she'll be an advisor to police brass focused on improving relations with the Indigenous community.
Someone had mentioned we have the largest Indigenous population, urban Indigenous population in the nation. I think it's extremely important that those individuals are protected, felt heard, and have a say in how that policing is conducted within this community.
Police Chief Jean Bauer says one of North's first assignments will be helping in the creation of an Indigenous Advisory Action Circle. School bus safety should be on every driver's mind as the new school year kicks off. Now there's a new tool to help crack down on drivers who break the rules of the road, passing school buses, which can put children in danger. ABC's Gio Benitez has the details.
Layla, come here. No, wait! Stop!
The scenes are heart-stopping. Vehicles narrowly missing children, speeding by school buses with the stop arm out and lights flashing. This car nearly hitting 2 children waiting for the bus in Indiana earlier this year. And as more school districts begin classes across the country, a company called Bus Patrol is using AI-powered cameras on more than 40,000 buses in 22 states to catch vehicle violations. The Lower Merion School District outside Philadelphia is using the cameras this school year.
That stop sign comes out. Those cameras start recording.
All 135 school buses in their fleet now outfitted with the cameras.
We're hoping we see no violations, because that would be safest for kids, but realistically our expectation is we're going to start seeing a lot of them then.
They took us on a routine bus route to demonstrate how it works. Terry Robinson has been driving a school bus for 21 years. Terry, how often are you seeing people just drive by with that stop sign out?
Multiple times every day.
And in just 30 minutes, we saw several possible violations.
Okay, so we have the stop sign out.
This car ignoring the stop arm as it makes a turn past the bus.
That car that turned should have stopped.
So even across the street, they should have stopped.
Everything stops.
And multiple cars going past the bus on the other side of the road, failing to stop despite the flashing lights and visible stop sign.
Oh, we got a bunch of cars.
According to police, once a violation is identified on the camera, the company flags it to the local police department for review. And if they issue a ticket, it's a hefty fine, $300 in Pennsylvania for a first-time violation.
This system allows us to be at every stop for every school bus. So it's really going to effectively increase how we can enforce these violations.
In the nearby Marple Newtown School District, police say they ticketed more than 2,000 drivers ignoring the stop arm since that school district installed the bus patrol cameras at the beginning of the 2024 school year. And the Lower Merion School District is hoping it'll make a difference here.
It's just not worth the chance of hurting a child and having to deal with that pain for the rest of your life.
And I got to tell you, just looking at these school buses, they don't look any different than any other school bus. So you really wouldn't know which ones have the cameras and which don't. So just follow the law. When you see a stopped bus, actually stop, let those kids board and get off safely there. And it's only going to take some 20 to 30 seconds for that school bus to move. So just relax a little bit to keep these kids safe. Gio Benitez, ABC News, Narberth, Pennsylvania.
Definitely good advice here as well as kids return to the classroom. Here's a look now what's going on Donald Street. Things appear to be moving quite well. Traffic has picked up. As you can see, the volumes are very different today compared to yesterday, and that's because kids are back to school. And here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.39, while the provincial average is also $1.39. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.40. The lowest price in the city is $1.27. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
Price at the Pump brought to you by KidneyCard.ca. Get a free tow and a tax receipt for value of your car.
We're just talking about safety on the streets for drivers, for kids, for teachers, for everybody in school zones. And Ainsley, you're telling us a little bit more about that.
Well, Rochelle, they're getting some help. The drivers are getting some assistance and some really friendly but important reminders from our friends here, Shane and Andrew. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Are you excited that it's back to school, or do you think you're going to miss summer a little bit?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
What are you most excited about?
I'm most excited about the opportunity that I can get to make more friends and also to see my friends that I didn't really get to see during summer break.
That's a really good answer. And School Patrol is going to allow you guys to do that. Tell us about why you wanted to take part.
So that I can help people cross the roads and make them safe.
Well, that's a very good start. You guys did some training last year. This year, you're ready to take it full time. What are some things that you guys are doing?
When there's people behind us, we put our flags out and we let them cross when it's green light. If it's 5 seconds or less, we don't let them cross.
So pedestrians listening, 5 seconds or less, you better not try and cross quickly. Do you guys have a message for people driving, especially in a school zone where there's going to be lots of kids around?
For them to slow down closer to these areas and to watch where you're driving a little bit better.
That's a really great answer again. You guys are awesome. Back to school, we talked about the things that fifth graders are into these days. Both of them are in the fifth grade. What's something, or maybe a subject, or something that you're really looking forward to this school year?
Sports we get to try out.
What's your favorite? You already said basketball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He hasn't been to a Seabears game yet, though. Andrew, you got to go to a Seabears game next year. You guys, thank you so much for this. Back to school. Listen to the kids. Slow down in those school zones. We'll see you tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ainsley. It's like the day. Remember, you get that brand new bag, all the school supplies, that smell. It's such an exciting day.
Yeah, I agree. I loved the first day of school, that excitement and anticipation leading up to it. By about the 6th day of school, I was over it.
It's over.
But still, the anticipation of those early days. No, I'm kidding. September is a lot of fun. Honestly, I was a kid that I enjoyed school. So hopefully there's kids out there that do as well. And if you don't, maybe this year will be the year that gives you a little something more to look forward to. I wish the weather had a little something more to look forward to. It's cool out here this morning. Oh, you can look forward to wearing your back-to-school fall clothes. That'll be nice, right? We get into fun fall layering. You'll want that extra layer on this morning for sure. It's 6 degrees right now. North winds 17 clicks. The pressure rising. The humidity sitting at 98%. Seeing some heavier clouds hanging over us right now. A little bit of a cool start to the day. A little bit breezy as well. Those winds will be increasing. And there is the possibility that we could see some precipitation. There was certainly some that rolled through last night. So you're going to notice wet streets, wet lawns, maybe some puddles out there. I don't think it was a lot of rain, but still, there was some shower activity last night, and we still could see some of that this morning. Northern Manitoba on the clearer side now. We'll start to see that clearing into the afternoon. Unfortunately, the clearing won't exactly bring a lot of heat. Temperatures throughout the rest of this week will remain below seasonal. Tomorrow could be even soggier, yet more rain is on the way. We're taking a break right now, but stick around. We'll be back with more on CTV Morning Live.
CTV Morning Live weather brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Good morning, it's 8:45. For women living with ovarian cancer, sometimes surgery or chemotherapy may be ineffective. But as CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, there is new hope for patients.
Liz Reichert was diagnosed with ovarian cancer after a medical episode while on vacation in Paris in 2019.
No other symptoms, except as I was sitting on that bus, I felt like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting a giant period.
It was stage 3B, with stage 4 being the most advanced form.
It meant that the cancer had already spread from my pelvic area into my peritoneum, which is the kind of sac that holds all your organs in your belly.
Ovarian cancer is typically quite advanced when it's finally detected. Reichert had surgery followed by platinum-based chemotherapy and has been doing very well for the past 6 years. But for most ovarian cancer patients, there comes a time when those platinum-based chemos no longer work. That's why the approval of a new drug called Elahere is so significant.
Mirvetuximab is the generic name. So it's approved for women with what we call platinum-resistant ovarian cancer.
Dr. Alan Covens says Elahere acts on the folate receptors on the cell membranes.
The majority of ovarian cancer cells, like 70-75%, will express folate receptor positivity on the cell membranes. So the majority of patients would be eligible to benefit from this drug. Not everybody, but the majority.
Reichert is living a good life now, but always aware of the chance of her cancer returning, and knowing new medications are becoming available keeps her full of hope. Elahere is expected to become available in Canada next year. In the meantime, patients should talk to their doctor about treatment options. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
If you need life advice on dating or falling in love, and even about the return to the classroom, some seniors are stepping up to help. The Misericordia Place and the people who live there are sharing valuable lessons with its new life advice line. It's where you can talk to someone with a lot of life experience about the things on your mind. Joining us now to tell us more about the new life advice line are Misericordia artists in residence, Francesca Carella and Toby Gillies. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, thanks for joining us. Now, this is kind of cool. Tell us a little bit about, as artists in residence, what this project was all about and how it came to be.
Yeah, the project came out of, many years of leading artists in residence projects at the Healthcare Center. Mm-hmm. What we have found is that from our experience, the best part of doing this work is getting to hear people's stories. So we lead painting and drawing mostly workshops, and then people share their stories with us and talk to us. Mm-hmm. And it's for us so rewarding and so valuable, and we know that other people would enjoy that experience as well. So we began recording patients in residence talking about their artwork, and then this project evolved from that in collaboration with the Healthcare Center.
Seniors always have the best stories as well, and they love to share them. So what are some of the takeaways that you wanted to share with the public?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what we found is that people, really connect when they're making art and talking to each other, and the advice or the recurring theme that we keep hearing is that, be involved with your community, be willing and open to help each other. And so, it was just really important for us to share that with the public, and this was just this phone line was a good way to do it.
Okay, so how does it work?
So you phone?
You have the number there.
204-788-8060.
Okay.
You phone, and then you're prompted. You can push 1 to 9. Mm-hmm. There's only 9 keys on a phone, so we had to choose only 9 pieces of advice. Mm-hmm. And so they're pre-recorded messages, and I think you push 1 for advice on following your dreams from Carl. Then there's dating advice. There's my favorite, I think, is advice on moose hunting. That one's a little long. Mm-hmm. He's got lots of wisdom there.
Lots of wisdom.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And so what are the benefits for the caller and for the seniors that are sharing advice? What sort of benefits for both would you see?
I think the project as a whole is about connecting people living in the healthcare center with the outside community. Mm-hmm. And that's sort of the idea of the art project that we do too, is about, for us, connecting with people in the healthcare center, and also about sharing giving opportunities for them to connect with the community as well. And so I think this project is part of that. Larger project.
People can call at any time.
Yeah, it's open 24/7, I believe.
Yeah.
That is great. And do the residents know that this has happened?
Oh yeah.
Of course,
what did they think of it?
I think there was enthusiastic consent.
They loved doing the recording, and then we went and played. They are pre-recorded, so we went back and showed them, and they thought they were funny.
I love
funny
that.
Or smart. Yeah,
it's so great. Okay, well, if you do want more information or you're looking for some life advice, we have a link on our website. Thanks to both of you.
Yeah, thank you, Rochelle.
That actually might be my new favorite thing that I've heard of. I'm going to be on for the phone all day long. I'm going to be missing my hits tomorrow because I'm getting advice. Oh, excellent. Okay, 6 degrees right now. North winds 17 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity at 98%. Perhaps one of them could have told me I should have dressed in more layers today. You've got weather advice on there? Yeah? Well, you need those extra layers on. It's cool out there this morning. It's been cloudy, a little bit foggy, and there was some precipitation that rolled through earlier this morning. Still seeing that on the satellite image as it's moving off to the east, but look a little bit more. There's the possibility again of some showers right here in the Winnipeg area. For northern Manitoba, a clearer, brighter day, but not exactly a warm day. Temperatures right across the province will remain below seasonal, just barely getting up into the double digits for northeastern Manitoba. Northwestern Manitoba might do a little bit better into those low teens. Southern Manitoba, well off the mark of seasonal. 21 degrees would be normal for this time of year. We've got some heavier clouds, that chance of showers through the morning. And 13 degrees is the average temperature that we're seeing all across the south. Even cooler yet as we look further to the east with more rain expected into parts of northwestern Ontario. More rain on the way tomorrow and cooler temperatures yet, so make sure that you're dressed even better tomorrow than you might be for today. Eventually we'll get a little more sunshine, not a lot more heat, still remaining below seasonal for the weekend, but by the time we're looking ahead to next week, we got those temperatures returning into the low 20s or closer to what you would expect this time of year. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more CTV Morning Live.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center.
Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, let's wrap up this show with some fun video. You may have tried playing music for your plants. These fungi will go one better instead. They do the playing. What? According to their YouTube page, the group Bionic and the wires connect bionic arms to fungi and plants. So they can play music and be creative, converting naturally occurring electrical signals into movement. It's played through handmade bionic arms attached to the instruments. Isn't that strange and so cool? Yeah. Well, you'd probably want to take a deep breath, or maybe a dozen deep breaths before crossing this one. Yes, the world's tallest bridge underwent final exams ahead of its debut in China. The Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge stands more than 2,000 feet tall. That's taller than the Empire State Building. Officials checked its strength, stiffness, and performance with a load test, driving 96 trucks weighing some 3,000 tons across its deck. That's simulating extreme conditions and make sure the bridge is up to task. Wow.
That's, I mean, I was going to say, when you say take the deep breath, you'll get altitude sickness up there.
And then finally, a pair of red panda cubs are turning heads at a Tennessee zoo. The zoo in Knoxville says the male cubs were born June 3rd. They're healthy and incredibly curious. Look at their faces.
Okay.
Red pandas are considered endangered with fewer than 10,000 of them left in the wild. So their breeding programs are critical to their survival, and they'll be making their public debut very soon.
I didn't think anything was going to be cuter than us, Rochelle.
Well, now you know. That does it for us. See you tomorrow.